Capitol, they're scheming in the night, selling out our freedoms for a pocket full of spite. From the border to the heartland, the wolves are at the door, twisting truth and tearing down what our fathers fought before. But I'm a patriot source, standing tall and true, with a Bible in my hand and old glory flying blue. Ain't apologizing for loving this land. We'll fight the forces of evil with fire in our stand. God bless the USA, we'll never back down. Patriots for freedom, wearing that crown.
Well, Daddy's home. Daddy is
No.
back.
Gross.
back.
Hold on. Hold.
Daddy is home. I'm
No.
home. I'm in my own digs again. I drove for 15 hours straight yesterday. Well, a couple breaks here and there for the potty breaks.
Did you stop at a Buc-ee's?
We did not stop at a Buc-ee's.
What?
I-
What?
How do you
Look,
travel without
stop it.
stopping at a
I understand
Buc-ee's?
because
Have you
every
been to
time
Buc-ee's?
I've been to many Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's are
Okay.
amazing. The problem is they are so spread out that by the time that my wife or my kids have to go to the bathroom, the next Buc-ee's isn't for another 118 miles. And they trick you. I don't know if you guys, everyone in here know about Buc-ee's? You guys over in the chat? You
Everybody
guys-
knows what a Buc-ee's
All
is
right.
by now. Come on.
So-
even
so
people
you know-
even north of the Mason-Dixon line knows what Buc-ee's is now.
So you know the scam. The Buc-ee's scam works like this. They put giant billboards all over the freeway saying that this is the place to be in 197 miles.
Well, because if the next Buc-ee's is 197 miles that way, it means it's 20 miles behind you.
Yeah, but there needs to be more Buc-ee's
It means
because
you
I'm
need to turn
telling
around
you.
and go back to Buc-ee's.
So if Patriot Mom is listening, she's probably gonna be mad at me. But my wife has the bladder of a thimble.
My wife.
She has the bladder
Bro,
of a
she
thimble.
had kids. She carried
had
your
kids.
children. You
I
better
get
leave
it.
her alone.
I get it.
She had kids.
Bladder of a thimble, and when that seal breaks at like 9:30 in the morning, it's literally every 45 minutes on the dot that she has to go potty. And then you put in a in puberty 12-year-old daughter and an in puberty 15-year-old boy, and who knows when we're going to be stopping. And it's almost never when you make it to the Buc-ee's. So we just usually blow right by the Buc-ee's. But I will tell you this: 15 hours in the car with my earbuds in, because my wife doesn't like listening to any of the stuff that I want to listen to. I want to listen to podcasts. I
It's
want to
'cause
listen
we
to political
cussed.
stuff. Well, yeah, you guys ruined it for her. So I have to listen to that stuff myself on my own with my earbuds in. I listened to a ton of really good stuff yesterday, and I even had a chance to listen to the entire stupid Joe Kent, Tucker Carlson interview yesterday. The whole thing from start to finish. And I'm here to tell you that guy is lying to you. And more importantly, I think I figured out what's wrong with these people. I am pretty convinced that I have figured out what's actually happening with the fake ass black pill wannabe America First crowd. And we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. But apparently, SK and Nam, wait, we like the cuss. I know you like the cussing. I got a
Can we get
biblical
the
lec-
comments on the screen? I think it's better when you rewatch
Yeah.
since I just
Right.
started rewatching 60 episodes in.
Wait, you
It's better when there's comments on the screen.
do you want me
for
to
the
bring them
replay.
up?
Nobody
Yeah.
can see that. Can you guys actually
It's
read
way
those
better.
comments on the
Well, I
screen?
put it on the TV, so
Oh,
Hold on,
okay.
hold on. How do let me see. Tall. Can I can't if
yeah,
I
there
can
you
put
go.
them
Make
over
it
there.
tall. Make it tall. Do it tall.
Yeah, but it's covering my face up.
No, it's not. Not when it's tall.
Wide. No.
No.
Tall.
There you
What
go.
are you guys doing?
Hey,
I saw
we're
some
messing with it.
comments earlier was like, I hope Patriot Dad doesn't end the shit show. No, I have a request for Guarding the Grid and for Clipmaster Jake, I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you to take this logo, this incredible logo that you created, and I need you to turn this into some type of a GIF or something that has animation in it. And what I want to see is I want to see the after hours scratched out. And I want to see like a scribbling, maybe like some type of messy, almost like a sauced, and notice I didn't say saucy, I said sauced nom de plume is writing in chalk shit show. So this should say Patriot Source Podcast After Hours. Nope, scratch that. Shit show. That's what this should say.
But it's a shit show every day when you're not here for sure. Also, I don't know who it is that thought I was criticizing you in some way, but
Me?
yeah.
You're criticizing me?
Yeah,
Apparently.
somebody
I
said
was
that.
like, bro, what? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Patriot Dad. He's the one that forced me to turn my camera on and make videos and then into a podcast. That was all Patriot Dad.
Who the hell would do that? Oh, I don't know what I did. Sorry, guys.
I also saw something. By the way, guys, we will eventually get to the content. For those of you guys who are new to the show, this is the After Hours, scratch that, the Friday night shit show, which means we're just going to talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about. We will eventually get to some good stuff because I actually do have some stuff I want to talk about because, again, I listened to the ridiculous Joe Kent Tucker Carlson interview end to end and walked away from that fully convinced that guy's totally full of crap. He's just making crap up. And more importantly, I think I understand what their problem is. So we're going to talk about that. We've also got some other little graphics that have popped up throughout the day that are fascinating. I have a new Candace Owens theory. It's called the boot theory. You know, like the black eye theory. You guys remember that? There always seemed to be like a new inductee into the globalist cabal, and you could tell who it was because they would show up on camera with a black eye. Well, there was a theory running around a couple years ago that anytime somebody of targeted importance showed up with a boot on their foot, there was a reason for it. And guess who just showed up with a boot on their foot at a personal appearance event?
Owens.
She got a boot on her foot.
Do you think she broke her foot tripping over all that bullshit
I don't
that
think.
she
As a matter of
spews?
fact, can we pull that up real quick? Nom, I know this is unscripted. Can you pull up the boot photo? Can you pull up the boot theory picture?
Maybe.
I think was it a picture or was it a video?
I think it was a picture.
Got it right here. Got it right
Pull that
here.
up.
I nailed it.
So, did you guys
It's
see
coming.
this? So,
Boom.
so Candace Owens apparently was part of a lineup of these grifter, fake ass, black pill, wannabe America First people. And she showed up to this event, which, by the way, also included Joe Kent and a bunch of other fake ass
And
fraudsters.
Flynn.
And Mike Flynn, was he there?
I'm pretty sure. Let me pull it up. I had it in the episode.
Yes,
from the other day.
General Mike Flynn was there.
That's an interesting one. Was Steve Bannon there too?
I don't know. If Steve
That
Bannon was
would be
there.
it. The perfect trifecta, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would. It would.
I do not know if Steve Bannon was there or not.
Because we know that Steve Bannon and Joe Kent love to hang out together. But anyway, Candace Owens showed up to this event and she had a boot on her foot, like just out of nowhere. And she tried to tell the story when she was speaking, when she was giving her speech, and literally nobody was listening. They were all too busy eating their $1,200 food. Nobody was listening to Candace Owens talk because I don't think anybody actually cares what Candace Owens has to say. But she showed up with her boot on her foot. Why would anybody have a boot on their foot? Any wild guesses?
Well, I mean, does it have anything to do with like the black eye theory?
I think it has a lot to do with ankle monitors.
I'm just
because
okay.
boots make a really good cover for an ankle monitor.
I think
course,
ankle
I don't
monitors
have
would
any
go
proof
really
of that.
good with
An
like
ankle monitor.
consistent-
I don't have any proof of that.
What?
But
What do you,
I
what do you
don't
mean?
know,
What do you
no.
mean an ankle monitor? What does
You
that
know,
even mean?
like when you've been arrested and you're, under indictment. I have no idea. When I
No,
saw
stop
Candace
that.
Owens
Stop
show up
that.
with a
Don't-
boot
why
on her
would you- no.
foot,
No.
I was immediately like, huh. I
What
wonder.
if she like fell and hurt herself?
Well, that's certainly a possibility, but I like the boot theory better. House arrest. There
I
you go,
like
Megyn
thinking
Jake.
that she slipped over all that bullshit that she spews. I like that a lot better. But I think an ankle monitor would go perfect with that persistent yeast infection that she had.
Did you see what I just
change
did?
it? Persistent.
I did.
Tell us more about
I
that.
added that lineup in the Dropbox. I labeled it loser lineup.
See what I did? That way, the comments can scroll and they're not covering me up.
There we go. That's perfect.
Yeah, but now you can't see the logo.
Oh, well, everybody can see the logo. It's fine.
Take the chat off there, because if somebody is watching this, then they can actually see the chat on their phone. How many people in the chat?
No,
Well,
no,
you're
no,
watching
no,
it
no,
on
no,
your
no, no, no,
TV,
because
you
we
can't
have
see it.
we have X and Rumble chat in this, and the Rumble folks can't see the X or the chat or the
that's
YouTube.
right.
We've got them all. Everybody
That's
can
right.
see. Everybody's in the same family when we show this. It's over there, right? This
That's
chat
right.
over there. That's why. That's why
All
we
right,
do it.
folks. How many? Raise your hand in the chat. Well, first, before we do that, just so you know, as a reminder, it's Friday. We're gonna hopefully be able to pull up questions and comments. But if you want to go to the front of the line, make sure you get your Rumble rants in, get your super chats in. We will, as you know, we will stop what we're doing and we will address your comment, your question.
Well,
as
we're
soon
going to
as
do
we
that now.
possibly can. Oh, why do we
We're
have
going to
one?
do it right now
And
because our favorite A Beaverhausen over on Rumble. Remember,
Oh,
your Rumble
Beaverhausen.
rants do not show up in this chat over here, or
Yep.
it's over there. I'm sorry. Your
Got it.
Rumble rants don't show up in there. So I'm going to read it. A Beaverhausen, Anastasia Beaverhausen. The shit is getting so high, Candace had to wear boots.
there we
She only
go.
had one boot on.
Yeah.
She had
only
one, but
one.
it wasn't actually a boot. She actually would have been. So the poop would have been on her sock and her foot
Yeah.
because it was a different.
Look, since we now live in a world where it is perfectly okay to just make shit up, I feel like I am entitled to one time,
Okay,
just one
must
time, just
go.
make something up and just make the point that Candace is probably under house arrest and is wearing an ankle monitor. What was that?
I'm going to
What
say
was-
that's well. So Kay Pasto said she doesn't love the chats on the screen if her opinion counts.
It
It
does
does
I mean, her
count.
opinion counts.
It does
Okay.
count.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Fair enough.
she's one of the Paramount Tactical
all right. Fair enough.
fans.
Fair enough.
Paramount
Listen,
Tactical puts
done.
her comments on the screen all the time.
Done.
Well, there's
They're
just one
gone.
person on his
They're
show.
gone. Well, if someone wants to, rebut that comment, fine. But we're going to go
Look,
back to
MAGA
the
Jake.
original.
MAGA Jake is in agreement with Kay Pasto.
No chats.
No chats.
The
All
chats
right.
on the screen.
Oh
suck.
my God,
Good, great.
guys, why am I getting overruled? Am I the only one that watches YouTube on my TV? Am I old?
Everyone else watches it on their phone.
No, our
Well,
kids watch
yeah, but
YouTube
my
on the TV,
husband
by
and
the
I-
way. No.
Well-
Our kids do. Our kids
Okay.
do.
Well,
The boot
good.
is
Because
probably
my
just for
husband and I
attention,
do,
yep.
because then we can watch the same thing and we're not just both looking at our phones in the same room.
Guarding the grid says he agrees. No chat on the TV. All right, guys. All right.
All right.
Well,
Anyway,
you
make
guys
sure.
suck.
Oh, by
Have
the
I told
way,
you that lately? Just
by
kidding.
the way, I was kind of scanning the chat earlier and I noticed A Beaverhausen said she's not going to be here on Monday and Wednesday because she's going to Orlando. A Beaverhausen, drop a comment. Are you going to the wonderful world of Walt Disney? Are you heading down to the same place? Because if you are, make sure you bring an extra set of pants, because if not, you will leave without them because they will take everything from you, including your pants. Because that
And
place
make
is
sure
a
you get a
freaking
wheelchair
scam.
because it's also going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Holy crap. That place, I just cannot. I can't. My wife was like, "Can we go back?" I'm like, "No.
No, never,
No.
ever again.
No."
Never.
So make sure you come prepared with a couple extra pair of pants. So when they take those ones off of you, after they've taken every penny that you have, they take your pants from you, they take your arm and your leg, you'll have an extra pair of pants and a wheelchair to wheel around in.
Now, hold on. Patriot Dad. I feel like you knew that was coming. Like, everybody over the age of like 12 knows that when you go down there, you're going to get violently accosted.
Yeah, because
put
it
it
costs you like $12 for a bottle of water.
Everybody knew that. Why would you go into it with blinders on?
I didn't.
And
I
then
knew
come
full
out and
well
say,
what was
"Oh,
going to happen. It doesn't
so
mean just
surprised
because I
that
knew it was going to happen doesn't mean I can't complain and bitch and moan about it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm allowed to. That's right. I'm allowed to complain and moan about it.
I don't think
But
so.
memories with your family are priceless, Patriot Dad.
I agree. We got some great photos. The kids made some awesome lightsabers, and my feet hurt.
The lightsabers are
And
cool.
you
I'll
can
give you that. The
replace those
lightsabers are super
batteries.
cool.
And you can replace those batteries. It's not like one of those things that the batteries go out and it's just done forever. You can actually put batteries in it.
Yep.
Are
All
we
right.
going to
so
get to actual content
we
tonight?
are going to get to actual
No.
content tonight, and
That would
apparently,
be awesome.
since I'm back, I'm supposed to drive the bus, which is really weird considering I was told that Nom de Plume is in charge on Fridays, and yet
He is, but Nom de Plume
weirdest-
was in charge for the last fucking 2 weeks. So Nom de Plume is not in charge anymore. Not tonight.
But also,
Nom de
you
Plume
have
will
to
be in
drive the
charge
bus
next Friday.
because I'm pretty sure it's against the law for Nom or I to drive right now.
yeah, neither one of
It's
you
a
are in
crime.
driving condition.
We
at
cannot
all.
drive. No.
At
No.
all.
Nom de Plume was in charge for 2 weeks. We did a good job, by the way. Have you checked the numbers on the shit shows?
I have. They
Have
did
you-
a good job.
Hey, in the chat, did you like the shit show or did you hate the shit show? They
Listen,
loved the shit shows.
I
If you like
said-
the shit show, let's get some poop emojis. Let's get some
I-
poop emojis in the chat.
I was talking to Lisa earlier today and I was like, listen, people like the shit show. And I was like, I think it's because it's like genuine. People know we're not like all rehearsed and prepared. And
Wait, are you
Like,
saying that
no.
I'm not genuine and I'm
no,
rehearsed and
no.
prepared?
It has
No,
nothing
you're
to do with
boring.
you.
You're monotone.
It has
You're not
nothing to do
funny.
with you.
You're kind
You
of
just
ugly.
can't-
You're super
Stop
skinny.
it, you guys. No, it has nothing to do with you. It's just the fact that you're the organized
I
one
love
that
the
like
shit show.
puts
Was
everything
good.
together and takes the time to like make outlines and shit. And Nom and I show up like 30 minutes before we're going live, and we're like, "What are we talking about?" Neither
That
one
is
of
a
us
great-
have any idea.
That is a great question. Clipmaster Jake says, when is Lisa coming back?
That is a great
That is
question.
a great
Yes.
question. I'm gonna ask
Which
her.
one
Maybe
are
next
you?
week.
Maybe. All right.
Maybe.
Wait,
I do have some things I
Wait,
want to
hold
talk
on.
about.
Hold on. What K Pasta? Which one are who?
There's
What?
really not two of them, K Pasto. That was a hologram. They were lying to you. Also,
We did a whole ass episode on Wednesday.
Sitting
Which
right
one
next
are
to each
you?
other.
Yeah. I'm a little bit bigger than he is.
I'm
a lot fatter.
Do we want to talk about why you're a little bit? Do we want to have that conversation?
Well, listen, I mean, listen, like 2 million Miller Lights difference between him and me. So
Probably.
I got a
but
little
you
bit of a
work
bigger
out
belly than he
every
does.
day.
I do,
No,
but I
not-
still-
he
I
takes
still-
care of
but-
himself. He works out every day.
I do. Well, most days.
You know what
Anyway.
his excuse
Hey,
was when I
hey,
point?
Patriot's Dad, remember that treadmill with the walking desk that I got? And you said, yeah, that's going to become a clothes rack. And I was like,
Yep.
stop it. No, it's not.
And it's
I
It's a
think I've
clothes
used
rack.
it. I think I've used
Yep.
it twice.
Yeah, you
It's
want
a
to hear
close
the
rack.
excuse that Nom gave me, guys? We'll get to the content tonight, I promise. But remember, it's a shit show, and you asked me not to turn off the shit show, so I'm not. It's just going to continue. Do you know the excuse that Nom gave me when I walked in the door on Wednesday? I guess it would have been Tuesday night, and I was like, "What the hell happened to your gut?" The excuse he gave me was, "Well, I had a power lifter buddy of mine that told me that the abs are just for looks. They don't actually provide any strength value." And I'm
That's
like,
not
so
what I
that-
said at all. That is not
That's
what
exactly
I said
what
at
you
all.
said.
That
He
is not
said
what I said. I
The
said
abs are just
so-
for when you're trying to get married, and then after that, the belly is for keeping your marriage or something like that. I don't know.
no, the belly is what you get when you're happily married. When you're happily
Wow.
married, your wife, yes,
Exactly.
that's what you get.
That's
you
where
get
you
to
store
get
all
when you're
your
happily married.
energy. You got to
Yeah.
have all that
Well,
energy.
listen. Big vehicle needs lots of gas. Okay, needs
Yes.
lots of gas,
This
and
is the
sometimes I don't
biggest-
burn all the.
This
Sometimes
is
I
the
don't
biggest
burn
crock
all
of
of the
crap
gas,
I have
And
ever
sometimes we
freaking
store
heard.
the gas for later. We have
This
to
is
store the gas.
biggest
and it-
crock.
We're storing the gas. Big machine, lots of fuel.
Oh, there's something big happening here, and it's a big giant load of crap. That's what's happening.
It's all
Hey,
about
listen,
the dad bod. That
ladies,
is
ladies,
freaking
do
right.
you-
That is right.
guys
Do you want?
Yes.
Do you want antlers? Do you want? Hey, listen. Do you want a pair of antlers in a pillowcase, or do you want a dad bod? What do you want?
What the
Dad
hell are you
bod.
talking
Oh,
about?
I think most all of the ladies would agree a dad bod is
Yeah,
preferable.
let me hug some antlers in a pillowcase.
Mm.
No,
I have
one
no
wants
idea
any-
what
any
you're
part of
talking
that.
about. This has gone off the rails. Unbelievable. This is what
All right.
what happens when I go away for 2 weeks. I come back and it is total chaos here.
It's total chaos. And Nom said, "Hey, I gotta set the streams up. What are we naming this
Yeah,
thing?" And I said, "We name it Fun's
Yeah.
Over, Dad's Home."
Yeah.
Daddy's
Yeah,
home.
so,
And I was like, no,
hey,
he's
before-
not daddy. I'm
before-
daddy. He's not
before
daddy.
I
He's
said,
not daddy.
"Nobody's
You're
daddy. I have
full of
one
hot
dad."
gas is what you're full of, hot gas. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you.
All right, let's go.
Anyway,
Content.
so I don't
Content.
even know where to start with this. I mean, you guys all know the story.
That was
you know-
20 minutes of nonsense, by the way.
Yeah, that's all right. You guys know the
20
story.
minutes.
It's
You
already
know-
been 20 minutes. Oh God,
Yep.
this is not going to be good.
Can I get started? Can we
Maybe.
jump in? Can we jump into this?
What do you, yes. What am I playing?
I don't. You are going to pull up for us the Tucker Carlson Joe Kent interview. Now, before you play it, I need to kind of set the show. So this was about a 2-hour interview. In the comments, raise your hand, put some type of emoji, a red flag or something. If you've gone and watched the interview, please let me know if you've watched it. Okay. So some people are starting to say, yes, they've watched it. Others are not. The good news is I have a feeling this is the only interview that you're going to need to watch of Joe Kent, because everything else that I've seen from this guy so far since this has been the same exact thing. The dude shows up. He has absolutely nothing of substance. And it's pretty obvious to me that two things occurred. Joe Kent is upset because he believes he wasn't given a place at the table to help make a decision. And number two, he has absolutely no idea what the Trump national security strategy in the Middle East actually looks like. I walked away from, yes, Nam.
Well, I mean, he's the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, not the National Foreign Policy and Security Center.
So explain to me why he believes that he should have a voice when it comes to foreign policy.
Well, my point is he shouldn't.
Well, he thinks he should.
Fair enough, but maybe if he hadn't been caught leaking and he hadn't been like pushed outside of.
I don't even need to do the segment
months ago.
I don't even need to do the segment.
Uh-oh.
You don't need to do the segment?
No. We're going to no. I don't even need to do the segment, because what you're going to realize after you go through this is that everything this Yahoo is complaining about is because he feels like he was gate kept out of the conversation because he was caught leaking and he wasn't allowed in the conversation.
And he was gate kept out of the conversation.
That's
so
right.
Literally everything he's saying is based on open source information.
And he follows some crazy people on X. So
No.
Yeah. All right. Do you want me to play it?
But I do want to say, I think it's important for us to say, caveat here, I do think that the guy is a hero. He's given more for this country than most people. I just think something has gone off the rails.
I'm going to say this.
I've told you guys multiple times that I trusted that guy. I'm like actually hurt by this.
Yeah.
Listen,
well,
I'm going to say
hurt
this
by this, but it's
I
going
agree.
to make sense here by the end of this. I promise.
Hold on. I have to say this because I've heard every single person say the guy's a hero. He's given more than money. And he has. His wife killed. She was a hero, terrorist, ISIS, all that stuff. I totally get it.
Dude, their kids were 18 months and 3 years old.
I understand. I totally get it. It's fair, but it does not mean that he is immune from
No, I know.
being challenged on his opinions, right? It doesn't mean that anything the guy says from here on out cannot be challenged. It doesn't, because when you say stupid shit, you're going to get challenged for it.
Yeah, I totally get it. I just think it's important that we recognize the fact that we appreciate his service and his wife's service and the sacrifice that he and his family made. We do. We truly do. I trusted him. Like, I truly trusted him. I took notes during his confirmation hearing, you guys.
All right. You want me to play it, or you got more to say there, PD?
No, let's set this up. Okay. So what I did is I listened to the entire thing, and don't tell anybody, but as I was driving, if I heard something that stuck out to me, I just jotted down with a little memo on my phone, the timestamp. And I went back and I pulled several of the timestamps and I kind of I clipped and smashed several timestamps or several segments together. So we're actually going to go through the entire interview, but look at just a few, what I thought were really important segments that I pulled out, because I think they're going to tell a really important story. First part of this story that I want you to understand is that these people are all operating under the old rules of engagement. They're all still operating under the rules-based system, the globalist system that says certain parameters have to be met in order for the military to be able to do things. And that is something that I wholly reject. Go ahead and play it.
Yes. 100%. Go.
This question of imminent threat, because that's really the only justification I think most Americans would accept for a preemptive war.
Certainly.
Otherwise, just like a war of choice done because Bibi told you to, and no one wants to get behind that because it's obviously illegitimate. So imminent threat, you're saying that there was no intelligence that you saw with the highest level clearance, obviously involved in this conversation, that showed an imminent
can
threat
I pause
from
real
Iran
quick?
to the
Can I
United
pause?
States.
Can I pause?
No, unless we took certain action.
Sure,
Wait,
you can pause it wherever you want.
Wait. Can I pause? So
Wherever you want.
I just want to make sure we are allowed to pause as
Yes.
this is going and stop.
That is the
and
point.
say,
That's
He's
the whole
asking
point.
permission.
no, well, I don't know, because I have a question. The question is, Tucker, he couches his statement when he says no intelligence that you saw, and Joe Ken is basing his entire assessment only on intelligence that he saw, and we know that he was not in the room on most of this. Most of the intelligence that was driving the decision to launch these attacks were need to know. He never would have even seen them to begin with.
Let
Maybe
alone had
Tulsi
he not
Gabbard.
been kicked out of the room.
Right. Maybe Tulsi Gabbard would have. I mean, this is going to be the most highly protected. The Joint Chiefs of Staff, maybe a few people at the at military intelligence, a few people at DNI, probably not the National Counterterrorism Center. If they had, maybe, but he wasn't even allowed to be in the room because of his past history of leaking. So yeah, so you know what, Tucker, you're right. Can you tell us what you think based on what you saw, even though what you saw was nothing?
Yep. All
Do
right.
we
you
continue?
guys trust anything that Tucker says after he's said 2 or 3 different stories about his dad's CIA service and when he found out about it?
I'm gonna tell you why. And this is gonna become very evident as we go through these segments. One thing that you're gonna notice, and if you go back and you listen to this interview in its entirety, and if you listen to any of these podcast bros and hoes, they are all attempting to re-prosecute the failures of the Iraq and Afghanistan war. They are basing they are basing their entire analysis on the belief that a 3-week war is turning into a forever war. And the only way that they could do that is if they believed we were losing this conflict. Here's the basis of this entire narrative that these guys are creating for you. They're creating that we can't do this because we tried it in Iraq and it failed. We can't do this again because we're losing the war. And the only way that we can win is if we turn this into a forever war. I wholly, just 100% reject that entire analysis. That entire theory has to be rejected out of hand. There has been nothing that Donald Trump or his administration or any of his history has ever done to suggest that he's even remotely interested in a war that lasts longer than absolutely necessary to complete the mission. So you're going to hear this all throughout. These guys are all doing the same thing. They are re-prosecuting the Iraq war again.
No, they're
because
not
they are-
brothers. And you're
Well,
seeing double. You're
Is
bringing
No,
this
the same
stop it.
tricks.
No. So Chris Cockrell's someone who Nam was driving the Patriot Source podcast account. I was chit chatting with Chris. Welcome to the show. I think he's new to the show. Welcome to the show. Yes, Nam DePlume, me, Patriot Dad. We are twin brothers. Just for what
If you
it's
go back and you watch Wednesday's show, you'll actually see us in the same room together because
Yes.
I was
I'm the
down
black
visiting
sheep
him.
sister that never gets invited to any family functions.
Well, we
You don't
don't
wanna be
invite
invited to
our
our
we don't
family
invite our real
functions, no.
sisters to family functions, actually.
No.
So it's okay. It's okay. We
No.
actually don't have family functions, believe it or not. We don't.
No, we
Um,
don't. If we do, they're like 35 minutes and we're out.
Yeah,
like
because
everyone's
our
gone.
family's boring as shit.
All right.
Well, a better boring.
But no, I
than,
have
like,
one thing to
mine.
add. One thing to add, because you are right that this entire exercise exists on the old rules order of what all of this means. They are not making these decisions or these assessments or these predictions based on who Donald Trump is. They're basing them on George Bush, right? That's what they're doing. But number two, Tucker Carlson is a very different animal because Tucker Carlson has very publicly and for a very long time basically prostrated himself to the conservative movement and saying, I was fully invested. He was one of the people who led the charge to get us into Iraq and Afghanistan. And in the last 5 years, there's not a single episode that he's done on any of his shows where he hasn't said, I fully supported it, and I'm so sorry. I think a lot of what Tucker is doing now is so that he is not in that position again. I think he has taken the complete 180 position. I did this before, I supported it. Now I'm never going to support it ever again for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah, but again, you're spot on. Tucker Carlson is scarred. He is scarred. He is very scarred from feeling like he was used by the Bush administration, by Colin Powell, by Dick Cheney, by Fox News, by all of those people who took us into war by lying to the American people. And they used him because of his incredible ability to communicate, to articulate, and to convince people. And they used him specifically to lead this country into a war. And he is still pissed about it. And I understand. Look, I'm going to struggle with Tucker Carlson because I get his perspective, and I believe in his heart of hearts that what he is doing, I think that he thinks in his heart of hearts, he is trying his darndest to avoid another quagmire.
I agree. I agree with that completely. I actually agree with that.
The problem is, this is not a quagmire. Now, we're going to get into this in a little bit, but listen, folks, as you listen to this, trust me on this. These guys are all upset because they are trying to re-prosecute the failures of the Iraq war. They have not yet caught on to who Donald Trump is, to what he stands for, and more importantly, to the agenda that the Trump administration is implementing. I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. If you haven't yet read the National Security Strategy document, you need to go read it, because as it's talking about how to handle the Middle East, Donald Trump and his administration very clearly articulate that in order for us to be able to leave permanently the Middle East, we have to be able to turn it over to regional control. And you can't turn the Middle East over to regional powers when it is still in a state of chaos.
Well, the regional power would be Iran if you tried to do that. And that's disaster. Yes, that's a disaster.
All right, finish playing this. Actually, back it up a little bit, because I need people to maybe reorient themselves, because we went on a riff for a while. So back it up to the beginning real quick.
We did. The beginning.
Yeah, we're only like 12 seconds into it.
Started all over.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I ruined the entire thing.
No, it's good. No, we'll do
focused on this question of imminent threat, because that's really the only justification I think most Americans would accept for a preemptive war.
Certainly.
Otherwise, just like a war of choice done because Bibi told you to, and no one wants to get behind that because it's obviously illegitimate.
Sorry, I'm muted. Folks, I'm an American, and at no point would I ever agree with the idea that the only reason we can use military force is if we face an imminent threat. That is the old way of thinking. That is the rules-based, globalist-defined use of force. You can only do something in the Middle East, because remember, the Middle East is the agent of chaos the globalists use to extract wealth from the United States. And they tell the United States through their globalist mouthpieces that you can't do anything about this unless you face an imminent threat. That understanding and that system is over.
Yes.
It's over.
And listen, the ladies over there at Promethean Action, they explain this. The old rules,
it's called the rules-based
order. The rules-based system existed so that the United States government, thereby the United States military, would do the bidding of the globalists, and they would only do it if the United States there's an imminent threat, but they would create the imminent threat to get them to do the things that they wanted them to do. That's what Iran was there for. That's why Iran existed. That's why they allowed them to exist. There's no reason that the Ayatollahs, the Gayatollahs had to exist.
Did I put that video in there?
Do we have a Gayatollah video?
I think so.
Oh, we need to get to that
Maybe.
later.
We're
I
gonna
don't know
get
if
to
I
it.
put it- I
Well,
don't know if
we
it
did
was
the
downloadable,
Gayatollah a
'cause you know
couple
how I am with
episodes
screen
ago. We
recording.
did the Gayatollah a couple episodes ago because the theory is that the Ayatollah's son, the new supreme leader, is actually gay, so he would be the
He looks pretty
Gayatollah.
gay.
He looked very gay. He looks very gay.
All right,
Anyway.
let's keep going. We're never going to get through this if we
And
keep.
Hold on, hold on.
Full disclosure, there's nothing wrong with being gay. Okay, we don't.
Well,
decide
no,
there
not,
is
not,
if you-
not
there is
unless,
if you're-
not unless you're a hardliner of the IRGC. I mean, if you're a
Well,
hardliner of the
not
IRGC and you're gay, then that doesn't
How
work
about,
because you're
like, the-
throwing gays off buildings.
Yeah,
That
that's what I was
doesn't
gonna
work.
say. It's
That's
like
right.
chickens for KFC. It's funny because of that. The irony is
Right.
funny, but we don't hate gay people. Just for
No,
the
no.
record.
We love
No,
gay people just
no.
as much. The problem is the Ayatollahs don't. They throw them off
Right.
a roof, and now they're saddled because they're on Ayatollah number 429. They're saddled. With the only one left is the Gayatollah.
Gayatollah 1, Gayatollah number 1. He may be Gayatollah number 5. We don't know. They could all be gay. Who knows?
Well, I mean,
Can we play
if you
this now?
If you listen to the narratives coming out of Iran, they are.
Oh
in fact,
no!
but they have
Somebody said
anyway.
goat Atola.
Ayatollah. All right, here we go. We're going to get back
Go
into
to
this. Here we go.
Okay, go.
So imminent threat, you're saying that there was no intelligence that you saw with the highest level clearance
That you
obviously
saw
involved in this conversation
that you
showed
saw.
an imminent threat from Iran to the United States. None.
No, unless we took certain actions, unless we came after them in a way that they thought threatened the regime, then we basically knew what they were going to do.
Well,
It's
okay,
what
but
they're
then,
doing.
right, of course.
Right, but
Well,
like any country. So if you attack any country, we know that they're going to have a reaction.
we face an imminent
But-
threat once we attack you.
Fantastic. Yeah.
All right, so that's the first point that they're trying to make. They're trying to create this environment where the only way you can use military force is if there's an imminent threat. Folks, I'm here to tell you, if you are operating under the assumption that Donald Trump is waiting for an imminent threat to use military force to enforce or to implement his agenda, you are going to be disrupted every single day because that is not the Trump agenda. The Trump agenda is not to wait until you have nukes pointed at you. The Trump agenda is we are going to use the military to enforce our will where it makes sense and where it's necessary to implement our agenda, which is to implement the American system.
You go, SK, and then
I was gonna totally take us off the rails. So if you have something important to say, you should say
I
it.
do. Well, it's in this vein, and then we need to get to this because you weren't here, Patriot Dad. We'll get to this in a second.
Okay.
Imminent threat, right? That means something. An imminent threat does not mean nukes pointed at New York City. An imminent threat means potentially a threat to American resources and assets in the region, like embassies, like troops, and we know for a fact that there was an imminent threat to our resources in the region. That's I don't know what game and what semantics he's playing, because literally every single time Joe Kent has gone in front of a microphone, in front of his ex, I mean, there are endless posts of him saying, yes, Iran poses an imminent threat to American troops in the Middle East, American assets, American interests. That's an imminent threat. It is. And they were ramping up. There's no question.
You're not
about
wrong. You're not wrong.
That's an imminent threat.
I just look, folks, if you're going to ever understand the Trump agenda, you're going to have to get beyond this idea that we are operating under the rules-based order anymore. We're not doing it now, which means,
Fair.
which
It's
means
America first.
Yeah, but
America
we're going to
America
counter.
first.
Listen, yeah, but we're going to counter each one of these bullshitisms that he's doing with actual facts.
Yep. Well, and
Because
let's do
that
that.
was an imminent threat.
Let's
Hold
do
on.
that.
Hold on,
Okay.
before we do this.
First, yeah, go ahead.
MAGA Jake's brother was having open heart surgery this week. And he was supposed to be last Friday, I believe, or maybe it was this Friday. It's today. It was today. So MAGA Jake's a P0. Him and Guarding the Grid do amazing work. They help us so much on the back end of this. Here's an update. MAGA Jake, if I could send you back your $5, you didn't have to do a super chat for this. Kind of annoys me that you did. But Matt's surgery was a success and everything went as expected. This network means so much to me, and I appreciate your prayer so much.
Amen.
Dude, God,
Yes.
can I send you your $5 back? This I don't. Can we reject this? I don't want
No.
this $5.
Yeah, how do
I
we
literally don't want
reject it?
Can I reject your
I
$5?
reject your $5. And
I
bro, we
reject-
just
this is-
We don't
just
want
know
it.
Yeah, bro, we love you.
even though I
We love
wasn't
you.
here, just know that I appreciate you.
But-
I will be praying for his recovery, because I know that just because his surgery was a success doesn't mean that the recovery is going to be easy. So I will continue to pray for supernatural, immediate, just godly healing in his body, up and down from his head to his feet, in the name of Jesus. So thank you for that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
Patriot Dad, and I'm over here chugging a beer, and that's Patriot Dad's praying. I mean,
Praying,
Jesus.
right? Also, guarding the grid, we draw the line at talking about Joe Kent's looks and making fun of his hair, okay? Because that is a good-looking man. I don't care. That's a good-looking man, and you
Well,
can't deny it.
He may end up being a really good looking man in jail if he's not
He
careful.
said, "Why does he have Rand Paul hair? He doesn't have
Uh,
Rand Paul hair. Rand Paul has spaghetti hair. That Joe Kent guy, that's like a chiseled statue.
I think
of
he
a
has
man.
spaghetti hair, though. I think
You
so
know
No, what he has-
We're gonna
What
need to keep
hair?
playing this.
Not
We're
a
gonna need
single
to
one
He
of
has-
us are looking at his hair.
he
We're
has
looking
the
Now that
at his
you mention
millennial.
jawline.
He has the millennial
Does
version.
he have the alpaca hair?
He has the millennial version of the alpaca do from
The llama hair?
the
No.
Gen Alphas and the
No,
Gen Zers.
No.
Yes, he
All right,
does.
We're gonna,
All
all
right.
right. Now I want to
Now-
keep playing this just to see his hair. Now,
Okay.
Just to
Now
see.
I
Is it the alpaca hair?
I do need to interrupt a little bit, because we're gonna Nam, you made a point that there was in fact imminent threats
Mhm.
that were happening. Now
Mhm.
I can't remember this guy's name.
Picasso.
I'm going to
You're
pull this up.
disowned.
I can't remember this guy's name, but this is a former official in the Iranian. I think this guy was a nuclear scientist, or he worked as part of the nuclear program. I snagged this video off of X the other day, and I verified that this is legit. This is real. I can't remember his name, and I ran out of time to tell you his name, but I'm going to pull this up.
I got it. I got it.
Pull this up, and now I'm going to read it because he's speaking in Farsi, so you can't understand him, but there are subtitles. So I just want you guys to hear this. All right,
Are we
here
going to
go.
go back to that
Look at
video
all
after
these
this?
we are.
women
We
in
are.
the comments dogging on Joe Kent. What are you women doing? Don't lie to yourselves. You don't have to like what he says. Who pays attention to what they say anyway?
Oh, jeez, okay.
Exactly. Who pays attention to what they say anyway?
Well, you
Yes. Hey,
should.
I like her even more. This is fantastic. I love it.
Maybe
All right,
if
here
you
we
would
go.
have paid more attention to the fact that he was a Democrat for 2 years, you wouldn't have fallen in love with him. SK.
You know what?
Oh.
I fell in love with the Whoa, hold on. Hold on.
If you didn't realize that he was married to a raging liberal and he was
that-
being evolved
Well,
into a Democrat, maybe
First
you
of
wouldn't
all-
have had a crush on him, SK.
first of all, I'm married to a man that is way better looking than he is. So if you're watching, babe, I said it. Full disclosure.
She's
But
like, I
also,
said it. I
that's
said it.
a
I had to see me. He
good-looking
made me say it. I said
That's a
it.
good looking guy. Have you seen that jawline? I mean, it's like chiseled, like out of marble. Like that's a statue of a man. Sorry. I mean, it is. I don't care about his
I'm
politics.
not going to
Look at that
attack a man's
jawline.
looks, because it looks like Nam and I got smacked with the ugly stick on the way out. So we got no room to
We
talk.
have a face for video.
No, we have a face for radio. We just somehow got convinced to put it on video. All right. Put up
No,
the Iranian
You
dude.
do. You have a face for
Dude,
radio.
we
I
have the
don't.
same damn face. What are you talking
No,
about?
we don't.
Put
All
it
right,
up.
ready?
Play up the Iranian dude.
And go.
اول که وارد این
When we
فعالیت
first
هستی
entered
شدیم، واقعا
nuclear
هدفمون
activities,
ساخت
our real
بمب
goal
بود
was
دیگه.
to
ما
build a bomb.
تعارف
No
نداریم.
point
یعنی
denying
شما
it.
میگید هدف ساخت
The
بمب
goal
بوده
really was to
نه،
make a
100%.
bomb.
هدف
Yes,
کی بوده؟
100%.
کل
Whose goal?
نظام یا همه
The whole
اونایی که
system. Everyone
این
who
فعالیت رو
started
شروع
this.
کردن واقعا
The
هدف
real
ساخت
goal
بمب
was
بود.
to
حالا که
build a
شروع کرده
bomb. We
بودیم
had
و
started and we
می‌خواستیم
wanted to
کار
go all
کنیم،
the way. If we
شما
could keep it secret and
اگه
test the
می‌تونستیم
bomb,
حفظش کنیم و بمب آزمایش می‌کردیم کار تموم شده
it
بود.
would be
مثل در
over, just like
پاکستان ما که
Pakistan.
شروع
Once we
کردیم
began,
و
we had to
آخرش
finish
حالا
it.
اینه که شما میگید
What you're saying,
ما تا حالا
we've never
رسمی
heard
خیلی
such
نشدیم
things
که چنین
officially
صحبت
before.
رسمی
اینایی که شما
ولی
میگید
What
تبعاتی
you,
نداره
what
مثلا
you're saying,
مذاکرات و
effective
اینا و
negotiations,
کسی
کسی
به
که
حرف
no
ما
one pays
توجه
attention to
نداره.
what
با
I
خارجی
say.
بالاخره
Foreigners
پیدا
will
می‌کنن.
eventually find out anyway. Folks, they had absolutely, and this, one of the things that you heard in this interview was this idea that there was a fatwa issued back in 2003 from the Ayatollah that prohibited the Iranian regime from actually creating a nuclear bomb, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. It is,
Can I introduce you to
propaganda.
the concept of taqiya?
yeah, taqiya. That's exactly
Can I
right.
introduce you to that concept?
Guardian of Grid says he couldn't hear what I was saying, but you guys could read, right? I'm sure you guys could read that. It was basically an Iranian official saying, yeah, we planned fully to have a bomb. That's what we were trying to do. And we were trying to keep it secret, so we didn't have to tell anybody, but we were going to do it.
But you guys, they had some fatwa or whatever it is he called it.
They didn't have a fatwa.
That
A
they
fatwa-
couldn't have a nuclear weapon. But also, I looked that up, and that's only like a political thing. It's not like an actual religious rule, and they don't have to abide by it. So
That's right.
it's kind of
Listen.
just for looks.
If you guys don't believe,
Takia outranks a fatwa.
that's right.
Everybody
If you
knows
guys-
what takia is, right?
we
Takia
all-
is literally the
Yeah, that's
religious
those
tenet
good
that
things
allows
that you
them.
get at the Mexican restaurant. They're like,
No,
No.
that's a taquito. A taquia, T-A-Q-U-I-Y. It's a
Never,
that's
never
a
trust,
taquito. It's a
never
taquito.
trust the Native American to know anything about Mexican food
Or
I was
apparently
funny,
Islam.
you guys.
or Islam for that
Apparently Islam.
matter. All right.
A taquia,
if you guys-
T-A-Q-U-I-Y-A, is a religious
A
tenet
bro
that
can't
allows
even
them to
spell it.
lie
You didn't
to
even spell it
progress
right.
the
It's
motion.
Well, he
T-A-Q-I-Y-Y-A.
Dude, he
Oh, I
can
missed two
spell.
Y's,
He
I'm
just
sorry.
totally
Oh, for
passed
hell.
the field sobriety test.
All right,
He
this
just
is-
spelled
this
the
is-
word
I'm
I
taking
can't
Listen, I
even
can say the
say.
alphabet backwards too.
I'm going
by
to
the
start
way. I
muting you
can't.
guys. I'm going to start muting you guys.
ZYXWBUT.
This is
No, you
absolute
missed it.
insanity. If y'all didn't want, if you don't believe the Iranian official, how about we pay attention to what Sarah Adams had to say when she?
Are we
just
done with Joe
basic-
Kent?
No, we're going back to Joe Kent.
No, he's a good looking guy. Put him back up
Oh,
on the
for
screen.
fuck's sake. All right, so here is Sarah Adams, who used to, as a former CIA analyst, covered the Iranian desk. Well, Sean Ryan decided to challenge this idea that the Iranians were an imminent threat. Someone asked me for a fatwa. I am running.
Jenny Lynn said, "Can we say shit show?"
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Summer. We
Yeah,
were in
of course.
Dubai. We were flying home and
Yep.
we
Yep.
could see the
100%. So the thing is, and Iran knew this anyway, we were always going to bomb Iran when we found out they hit a certain level of enrichment or they could get close to putting.
How did we find that out?
So
Because here's what's interesting to me, and I can't tell you
Mm-hmm.
who told me this, not on air. Not one of our intelligence agencies fucking said that they were enriching uranium. It was Mossad that came along and told
see,
us that.
well, the first thing is you have to remember, Mossad has way better access in Iran than we do. Just to be honest, I have some better accesses in Iran.
Hold on.
than
I want
the
to
US
stop this. I want to
government
stop
does.
it because this is so hugely important. Hold on. This
Yep,
is so
hugely important.
hugely important. Everybody needs to understand this. White Anglo-Saxon CIA assets don't do well in Iran, like
Shocker.
at all. Do you know who actually does very well in Iran?
Jews.
Mossad, because they look and they blend in and they actually know the culture, they know the language. So yes, Mossad has better intelligence coming out of Iran than people who look like Patriot Dad. Actually,
We
I
probably could
I-
pass.
we could probably pass. We could probably.
Yeah, we could pass.
We could. I don't know how this happened, but when I had a huge beard, what did I look like? I look like
you,
freaking.
you got called a jihadi.
Ahmadinejad.
Did you look
Yeah.
like
you did.
Osama bin Laden? Did
He
you look
did.
I
like
did.
Ahmed?
I did.
the
I
guy
had a
with-
beard down to here, and I
Jeff
literally,
Dunham?
my wife was like, she's like, you look like Ahmadinejad. You could pass for a terrorist.
You have to
But-
say silence. I kill you.
Silence! I kill you. I kill.
All
you.
right. Hey, you made a really good point though, Nam.
That's a
and
great
it's something,
point.
It's something that's going to come up.
Yes.
And I didn't catch it. I didn't capture a lot of it in the clips. But if you go back and you watch the video, the entire interview, you're going to hear Joe Kent make the case, and I think rightfully so, that a lot of the intelligence that we have on Iran actually comes from Mossad. It comes from the
It has
Israeli
to.
intelligence.
It has
agency.
to.
And there's a reason for it, not only because they blend in well, but guys, think about this for a second. And you're going to hear me talk about this again. Israel has a very different perspective when dealing with Iran than we do. Iran is a political problem for the United States. Iran is a survival problem for Israel because Iran will always,
Existential.
it's an existential threat. Iran has always said if and when they get a nuclear weapon, they will first destroy Israel and then they will destroy the United States. But Israel has been the target of Iranian aggression from Hezbollah, from Hamas, from the Houthis, from all of their proxies, and from them directly for decades. Israel has a very different reason for wanting access to intelligence. The United States, our reason is largely just global political managing the globalist system. So when Israel comes to you and they say, hey, we have intelligence, we should be listening to them, not rejecting
And we are.
it. And that's right. And the problem that Joe Kent and Tucker Carlson and the Candyland cult and all of these fake ass black pill wannabe America First people is they assume that just because something comes from Israel, it's not real. I think we should be assuming, because their very survival is at stake, we should absolutely take it for credibly. Now, we should verify it and we should vet it, but we should believe it and we should be willing to act on it, because they are the only ones in the world right now that have similar reasons, similar intentions, similar perspectives on the things that we need to be implementing in the Middle East, which is a region controlled by regional powers, not including Iran. All right. Now, I want to keep playing this because Sean Ryan is trying to make the point, you heard him say it, that our intelligence did not have the information necessary to conclude that we were facing an imminent threat. And here's what Sarah Adams has to say, who, remember, former CIA, used to cover the Iranian desk, flat out smacks him around and says, you basically, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. SK,
Can I say one thing?
Yep.
Donald Trump's the only one that can determine what's an imminent threat. So I don't know
That's
where she
right.
gets off thinking that, yeah, I mean,
Well,
What she just said.
yep,
What she just said.
totally
Yep.
agree. Here we go.
have to be really honest about that. The U.S. does have bad access on Iran, so they've always had to rely on other people. So that's no conspiracy. Think about it. That's Iran's greatest enemy. They have the best access here, just like we had the best access in Afghanistan when we were fighting the Taliban there, right? Because that was our enemy. So you have to view it in that lens, okay? So that's not a conspiracy.
Okay, but wouldn't I mean, remember early on in Afghanistan when we would go into these villages and we would just take somebody's word for it? Oh no, they're the bad guys, not realizing that these people, these two groups have been battling each other for 1,000 years.
Mhm.
I mean, so you know what I mean?
That's
I
not
want to
exactly
stop.
what's
I want
happening in
to
this
stop. I
case.
want to stop. I want to
So,
stop. Stop.
I will
Because-
tell you-
no, stop. Because what he just said right there is it's such elementary thinking about this. It's
Yep.
so elementary. It's sophomoric. Yes, we went into Afghanistan and we looked at a bunch of people in Afghanistan and said, what's the intelligence? Well, I hate that guy and I hate that guy, and we're going to give intel. But that is not what we're doing here with Iran at all. It's so very different. Iran is embedded in it. These people are. This is all bullshit.
Yep.
All
It's bullshit. It is people trying to re-prosecute the failures of the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts. That's what they're doing. All right, here we go. Let's keep it going.
They were 100% enriching, and the U.S. government also has information that they're enriching.
That's right.
It's not just from Mossad. That's 100% not true. I mean, I even had access to a guy who had a family member in the program. The program is real. The program is much farther along than our government was aware. And I think they were caught a little bit with their pants down and realized it is more advanced than we thought. Remember, for like 15 years, they kept saying it's not advancing. Sorry, a program does not advance for 15 years. So our government just kept rolling the same assessment over into every year. And I really do think Trump saw it and said, holy crap. We are so behind in our assessment on this. We got to hit them now. I do believe they had enriched that much. I personally believe it. Remember, I used to work Iran in the CIA.
Amen. She used to work Iran in the CIA. So this idea that, hey, there
wait,
wasn't.
hold on. Who's in control of the comments? That one needs to go up on the screen.
Which one?
Daniel Armstrong.
What? Patriot Dad really didn't get 10. What?
They were joking, saying you were kidnapped by Ian Carroll the whole time you
What?
were gone.
In a Domino's uniform, his brother was
Because he was
right.
a Domino's pizza delivery guy.
Ian Carroll was? Up until he
Yeah.
started making content? That's
Yes.
not surprising. Not surprising at all.
What?
Yeah, no, I did not get kidnapped. I got kidnapped by my wife and my kids and got like forced to go down and
That
spin
happened.
my ass
That happened.
off.
Yeah.
That happened. All right.
Patriot Mom, she lays out it all. She's like, you are not doing an episode tonight. And he's like, okay.
And Patriot Dad says, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, that's why I've been married for over 20 years. So I'm just saying.
I didn't say it
Probably
was
true.
bad. Listen, I just said
Probably
you do
true.
what you're supposed to do. You say
That's right.
yes, ma'am.
That's right.
It's probably true.
All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to the Joe Kent and Tucker. So now that we know this idea that there was no imminent threat has been debunked by an Iranian official. It's been debunked by a former CIA analyst who controlled or who oversaw the Iranian desk. And it's been debunked by the reality that we don't need to have an imminent threat to implement the American system, which means that Iran had to go. I'm sorry, folks, you are going to have to wrap your head around the idea that it is a globalist rules-based order to require an imminent threat in order to implement the agenda that the American people voted for, because we voted for breaking the backs of the globalist system. And this is what it looks like. All right, now I'll pull that back up. Can you get it back up again?
Joe Kent? Oh, yeah,
Yep.
I can. All right.
But
Yeah.
there was
All right.
no intelligence that said, hey, on
Look at that
whatever day it
jawline.
was,
Don't
March
tell me you
1st,
aren't
the
distracted
Iranians
by
are going to
that.
launch this big
Yeah,
sneak
he's
attack. They're
definitely
going to
got
do
the,
some kind of a 9/11
he
Pearl Harbor,
definitely
et cetera.
has
They're going to
the
attack one of our
llama
bases.
hair.
There was none of that
But
intelligence.
you're saying
That's
that
llama head. Totally llama hair.
Israeli officials short-circuited
What
the entire
hair?
U.S. government and just went right to American
Okay, hold on.
policymakers.
Let's back this up just a little bit, because this is a new segment. All right, so this is a new clip coming up here where he starts talking about how the Iranian officials went around people like Joe Kent and took their intelligence directly to the president themselves. And
Hold on a second.
this is the
Pause.
narrative. No, hold on.
Pause.
Let me
Get out
finish
of here.
this thought.
Pause.
This is the narrative that you're hearing from people when they talk about gatekeeping. You're hearing people starting to talk about this idea that only certain perspectives are being allowed into the Trump inner circle. And what they mean by that is people like Joe Kent, who have been credibly accused of leaking, have been kept out of the circle for good reason, because they don't trust him anymore. It's that simple. What were you going to say now?
Oh, I think you just covered it, actually. So,
Okay. All right. So let's keep going.
That
But
intelligence.
you're saying that Israeli officials short-circuited the entire U.S. government and just went right to American policymakers and said, it doesn't matter what your country says, here's what we know? Is that what you're
I
saying?
mean, usually they're pretty slick.
Pause. Did you see what Tucker does there? He does this every time. This is the straw man red herring. I don't know which fallacy it is, but it's got to be one of them. It's one of those fallacies where he basically creates this straw man reality by saying the American intelligence agencies say that there's no credible intelligence of an imminent threat. Well, I just showed you multiple people who said, yeah, in fact, there is credible intelligence, but Tucker doesn't say that. He sets up the argument against the idea that it doesn't exist at all.
didn't we hear a similar sort of trope or claim that the intelligence community, or 51 intelligence professionals, all agree? I mean,
This is Russian disinformation, guys.
what do you mean the intelligence community doesn't have any information? Tucker, do you have access to all 17, what is it, 18 or 18 branches, 18 agencies of the intelligence
Way
community?
too many.
18.
It's way too many.
It is a ton. Well, I don't know if it's way too many, but they all have different roles and different avenues, supposedly, and they all have to filter up to who? To Tulsi Gabbard, not to him, not to this guy. This guy has a role. He does things, right? Am I right? Am I pointing in the right place?
He did until he got caught leaking.
He has roles and he has things, but I mean, like the FBI has intelligence.
I'm sure he has
DHS,
things.
the DSI. I mean, there's 18, 19 different military. I mean, there's all kinds of different intelligence agencies. And Tucker Carlson spoke very specifically, like he knew that none of them had any information. Can we rewind that and play it again? Can we play it again?
Yeah, because he did that because
no, I want to hear it again.
That's what Joe Kent said.
Right, but like any country. So if you attack any country, we know that they're going to have a reaction.
We face an imminent threat once we attack you.
Yeah, exactly. But there was no intelligence that said, hey, on whatever day it was, March 1st, the Iranians are going to launch this big sneak attack. They're going to do some kind of a 9/11 Pearl Harbor, et cetera. They're going to attack one of our bases. There was none of that intelligence.
You're saying that Israeli officials short-circuited the entire U.S. government and just went right to American policymakers and said, it doesn't matter what your country says, here's what we know. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, usually they're pretty slick, and
of course.
And they'll say, "Hey, this isn't in intelligence channels yet because it's going to take some time to get there." And here, they're on the cusp of building a bomb. You know, they're going to, I don't know. You pick your topic. A lot of times they'll sample different things until they find what sticks. But in general, the narrative about, you know, they're going to do a preemptive attack, or really just they're going to build a nuclear weapon. And if we don't stop them now, they're going to build a nuclear weapon. And enrichment is the pathway to that. They're going to continue enriching at whatever percent. Enrichment became the narrative. And so that hung up and that short-circuited and really sabotaged the entire negotiations because the
Wrong. Hey, SK, got a question for you. Going to put you on the spot.
I wasn't listening.
And folks in the chat, if SK doesn't get this, I'll give you an
SK was enchanted by his jawline. Let's be honest.
I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was talking to our comments section.
SK is going to be one of was it the Jeffrey Dahmer fans, the people that would write?
Yes,
him?
that's what I said. That's what I was typing. I was saying, guarding the grid said SK is going to go visit this guy in jail, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be one of those crazy women. There,
that's right.
She's gonna be one of those write him jailhouse letters. That's
yes,
right. Jailhouse
I
lives.
was in the process of typing. In all seriousness, I am very happily married. Also, Joe Kent just really broke my heart because I trusted that guy. I'm coping right now. Okay.
I totally forgot what I was getting ready to say. I have no idea where I was going.
The fact, hold on. I just want to say the fact that SK has recognized that her heart is broken for a legitimate reason and she is coping is her admitting that yes, she picked the wrong guy.
I did.
SK, you picked the wrong guy.
I don't ever pick the wrong guy. Ever.
Yeah,
my ex-husband and I are even still good friends. I don't pick the wrong guy, but I trusted him and I was wrong. Okay.
All right. I'm going to need to replay this part so I remember what I was going to say because SK totally threw me off kilter. All right.
The narrative about they're going to do a preemptive attack, or really just they're going to build a nuclear weapon. And if we don't stop them now, they're going to build a nuclear weapon and enrich.
Oh, I remember. Okay. SK, I have a question for you. And folks in the chat, if SK doesn't get this right, I'll give you an opportunity.
I probably won't.
To get it right. SK?
Yeah.
What do you have to do to nuclear material in order to turn it into a nuclear weapon?
Oh, I have no idea. I just know what percentage it has to be enriched to, and I know it's
it's not nuclear. It's
whatever.
It's nuclear.
Nuclear.
It's not
I grew up in the Bush years. It's nuclear.
I know it's not nuclear. It's nuclear.
Nuclear. Hey, guarding the grid. Guarding the grid got it right.
NUCLEAR.
Oh, I know you have to enrich it. That's a simple answer. I thought you were asking me like the fucking compound.
The process.
And the process to get there. I have no idea. I know it's uranium, and I know it has to be enriched to like 90%.
So
hey,
Joe Kent made the point.
I would like to stop the show for a second, guys. Everybody in the comments, are we out of control? Do we all need to shut up and let Patriot Dad just have his way with the show?
No.
How are you all feeling about the show so far? Is this okay?
It keeps growing.
Remember, it's the shit show after hours. This
yes. What?
Whoa.
Chemistry test. 90% with shape charges and good timing. Yes. What is yes? What does yes mean? Do we keep interrupting
one
him?
of us here that has a
periodic
table
say
on my
the
wall.
yes means that they
keep it going, Nom. Keep it rolling.
Oh, for hell no. All right. The point that Joe Kent is ridiculously trying to make is that enrichment does not mean that someone is pursuing a nuclear weapon. And unfortunately for the retard class, enrichment is exactly what has to happen in order to have a nuclear weapon. The point here, and I know I totally did that wrong on purpose for you guys. It's nuclear. Nuclear. That's the way we say it up here in the Midwest. Remember, we make up our own words up here. We add our own syllables and our own sounds to things and extra letters. That's what we do. Nonetheless, you have to be able to enrich uranium in order to make a nuke. So when you start a negotiation, the way the Iranian negotiators showed up when they met with Steve Witkoff back in February, and the first things out of your mouth are, yeah, we know that you blew up our nuclear reactors. Did you get that? Our nuclear reactors back in June. But what you didn't know, Mr. President and Mr. Negotiator on the United States side, is that we have several hundred pounds of enriched uranium at 60%, which means if we really wanted to, we could turn this into 10 to 12 nuclear warheads in about 2 weeks. That was the very first thing the Iranian negotiators opened with when they sat down with Steve Witkoff back in February, was we have enough material to create warheads for 10 to 12 bombs if we chose to. So who was it that came into that negotiation and immediately decided to blow up the negotiation by threatening to say we've got enough material to create 10 to 12 nuclear weapons?
Iran did.
Iran did. So yet Joe Kent is sitting here in front of Tucker Carlson saying, well, enrichment's not a problem. And the Iranians are simply moving the goalpost by saying they shouldn't even be able to enrich. Well, the reason why they shouldn't be able to enrich is because you have negotiators on the Iranian side saying, by the way, we've got enough enriched that we can blow you up if we want to.
Wait, hold on. Boggs Ships just said, weren't they about to buy a nuke from North Korea? I don't know anything about that, but I do know the dumbest
First
comment
I've heard that.
seen.
I'm going to tell you, Little Rocket Man would not sell a nuke to.
Nope, not with Trump in office.
No,
ain't no way.
No. But also,
he wouldn't do that. No.
I want to recognize the dumbest comment.
Pakistan, maybe.
Yeah, right. I do want to recognize the dumbest comment I saw on social media today. And it was saying, if nuclear weapons are such a big deal, why don't we just bomb North Korea? You guys, what would happen if we bombed North Korea?
Why? Hold on. Stop. I mean, before we even do that, why? This is a thought exercise. Why would we?
We wouldn't, because they've got actual ballistic missiles lined the fuck up, thousands of them, on the what's it called, the demilitarized zone,
the
right
DMZ.
on the edge. Yeah, right on the edge of it. They've got them lined up all along. They've got thousands and thousands of them lined up, just ready to hit the button.
Okay.
I put this up here for a reason. We will get back to this.
We keep this up there because this is actually what's happening, by the way.
Joe
this is actually what's happening.
Yes. You don't say, what did he say in the Megyn Kelly interview? Speak truth to power. You don't say that if you aren't planning on running for office. That guy's on a media tour because he's going to run for office.
I have a theory.
We've got theories. We have theories. Yep. Let's go. You want to do the theories?
Let's just lay the theory out, and then we'll see if the rest of the interview.
Just do it.
All right. So here's the theory. So we know that there's a couple things happening right now with what Bongino refers to as the Doomer class. I don't think that's a sufficient name for them. I think FAGA makes a lot of sense. Although TikTok will pull your videos down and give you a strike for using the acronym FAGA, which basically means fake and gay again, because that's what these people are. They're fake ass black pill wannabe America First people. The reality is
fake ass MAGA.
Go Max.
Fake ass MAGA.
No, I like FAGA, but I can't use it on TikTok. Anyway, here's the theory. All right. And I started to notice this probably about 6 weeks ago. There was a couple of content creators over on TikTok that we used to engage with a lot back during the campaign. Libertarians, people who were coming into SK's debates, they were holding their own debates, and they suddenly decided that they wanted to jump on the Trump train. Because they said that they agreed with his economic agenda. They pretended as though Trump is going to be the one who's going to fix our economic problems. And yet, as soon as Trump gets into office, you start to see all these libertarians jumping off the Trump train almost immediately. As soon as Trump started implementing his tariff system, the libertarians jumped ship. Now, who are the libertarians in Congress? Do you guys know?
Massey,
Rand
Rand
Paul, Marjorie Taylor Greene calls herself a libertarian now.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is
It's
a
just an idiot.
freaking pick me.
Here's my theory.
She is a pig.
My theory is that what you're watching happening, maybe not so much from the Candace Owens and the cultists, because those are just a bunch of stay-at-home moms who drink too much wine and don't understand what the hell they're doing. They're just complete and bumbling idiots.
Well,
hold on,
with
the
they
propaganda
are the,
demon
hold
army.
On, they are the true crime moms is what they are. True crime. Yeah.
So I'm pretty convinced that the split that you are seeing them try to create in MAGA is not a split in MAGA. It is the libertarian wing that joined MAGA in order to be part of the winning side. And now they see an opportunity to take over or usurp Donald Trump's control over the MAGA base, knowing that Trump is not going to be on the ballot in 2028. And they are planning to run their own candidate against the Trump endorsed nominee, who will likely be either Rubio or JD Vance. And I think what you're seeing now, hold on, I'm not done. Let me finish playing this out. I'm also hearing from other people on back channels, I can't say their names, maybe one of these days I will, who continue to tell me that the problems that most of the people like Sean Ryan's and some of these bigger podcast voices who were Trump fans and now they're not, the biggest problem they have is that they feel like they've lost the access to Trump directly that they once had. They went into that relationship with Donald Trump and the MAGA agenda thinking they were going to be able to help shape the agenda themselves, and have come to find out that they're not having the impact that they hoped. They're not able to convince Donald Trump to abandon the real America First agenda for the America Only agenda. And now they are being made promises by the libertarian wing of MAGA, who are peeling off and trying to create their own platform using our base. That is what you're watching happen right now. You are watching the libertarian wing attempt to take MAGA over so that they can take control of the Republican Party, because they have struggled to do it this entire time.
Now, I agree with everything that you said, except that they have created a bit of a public Mason-Dixon line, right? And that Mason-Dixon line is Israel.
Yep.
It was Israel. And you are going to be identified by your public support or your public denigration of Israel. If you support Israel, you're on the Trump side of the Mason-Dixon line. If you don't support Israel, you are on the FAGA side of the Mason-Dixon line. Israel is going to be the deciding factor. And it turns out, SK, that we have actually shown the world multiple times over and over exactly how the leftists told us they were going to do this. Because it turns out that the Democrats can't fucking win anything if you don't have a broken, splintered Republican Party.
I'm telling
and
you guys,
we
this
do.
is
Now we
Tea
do.
Party
Now we do.
2.0. Tea Party 2.0. They're
Now we
just
do.
trying to screw up the chances of Republicans winning, not only this year, but in 2028. Also, I would like to say, you know that like libertarians are just like vegans, right?
Listen. I want to say this. Listen, this guy's right. Typhoon, welcome to the chat. I've never seen you here before. So freaking right. I find it hilarious. People believe Israel are the top of the food chain. They're a 77-year-old country. British Empire took over 90% of the entire planet, created all of this stuff. Israel is not. Listen, if Israel and Jews are the center of everything that you think about, which south of the Mason-Dixon line of the MAGA movement, the FAGA movement right now, if you're in the FAGA movement, south of the Mason-Dixon line of the Republican Party, that's all you think about all day long. Israel, Jews, Israel,
Hold
Jews.
on.
You are the fucking problem. They're not that important.
Well,
They're not that fantastic. They're not that pretty at all. They're not that pretty.
Here is the thing, though. They are talking about them and they say all these negative things about Jewish people and Israelis and whatever. And then, but yet they turn around and say that these are the people that are controlling the entire freaking globe. You're talking about 0.2% of the population. And you somehow think that these people are both so stupid and so intelligent that they're controlling the entire globe. Like, pick a lane. It can't be both ways. You're talking about 0.2% of the population.
So the part that I want to add on to this theory that you're watching a attempted libertarian wing of the MAGA base try to take over the MAGA party. The question that we have to be able to understand, or the thing we have to be able to understand here is this: why would libertarians line themselves up with globalists? Because most people think libertarians are small government type of people, and
because they have no ability to think forward, to
Because they're
look
getting
forward.
paid.
No.
Massey's getting paid.
Well,
They're
Massey's getting
paid.
paid. There's no doubt about that. But there's a reason for it. Libertarians are at their core non-interventionalists. They do not believe that any nation should be intervening in the affairs of any other nation, just like they don't believe that we as individuals should be dictating any type of moral standard across.
I'm sorry, that's
what they believe. That's what they believe, though.
It's
so the
just
question,
stupid.
but listen, they believe that the economic system is a globalist system where people should be able to trade and interact freely, meaning free trade, not fair trade. Meaning they believe that if Iran wants to subjugate their people, they should be able to subjugate their people. If the governments in North Korea want to be able to keep people in bondage, they should be able to do that. That's what libertarians believe. They are at their core globalists. So if you're wondering why the libertarian part of the MAGA base sounds like globalist, sounds like they're trying to stop the Trump administration from breaking the globalist system, it's because they're globalist. They believe in globalist trade, not regional trade. They don't believe in the Monroe Doctrine. They believe in globalism. The Donroe Doctrine. They don't believe in the America First agenda. They believe in the America Only agenda, and the globe can go to hell as long as they have the ability to buy
globe
and commerce.
can't go to hell. It can't.
That's what they believe.
But listen, I understand. Listen. I know what you're doing. I know what you're saying. But for the sane people out there, you understand that there is no such thing as America only. There is no such thing as every other country can do whatever they want, because America, by the way, needs a lot of shit from a lot of other people, right? And we need to be able to have some control over that. Well, we do, and we should, and we will. I mean, even if it's only in our own hemisphere, right? Whatever. But we can't do everything. We can't. If we do, we go back to, I don't know, what, pre-1800 or 1800s?
Yeah.
Style.
I mean, I'm all about going back to the Wild West. I've been waiting for it. I was born for that moment.
Listen, it's not going to happen. Me too. Well, I'm more medieval. If I lived in a previous life, I was medieval times.
Oh no, I was Wild West, like Lonesome Dove style on horseback.
I know. And, yeah.
All right.
But hold on.
Yep.
Kay Pasto said that she thinks that they're pushing for like a Vance Gabbard 2028 ticket. And if you have not watched the Megyn Kelly interview, Joe Kent says some crazy things about Vance and Gabbard.
Yep.
And they're all very good friends. And yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Also, I'm so glad that I don't have to keep it a secret anymore that I voted for Marco Rubio in the 2016 primary because I was really embarrassed for a long time, and I'm not embarrassed anymore.
You did
Also,
what? You voted for Marco Rubio in the
I did. In
2016
the
primary?
2016 primary, my husband was like all on
Can
board
I
with Donald
can I
Trump.
tell can I tell everybody?
Oh,
I
but
don't think this podcast knows this story actually.
But hold on. The second Donald Trump came down the escalator, my husband was like on board. I remember watching it on TV
Not
live.
me.
My husband was
I
like,
could not stand that guy.
yes.
Could
Oh,
not
my
stand him.
husband was 100% on board. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? This guy's going to get us blown up with his mouth. And my husband's like, no, we need a businessman to run this country. This country has to be run like a business. I'm sick and tired of lawyers running this country. We need a businessman.
I
You
voted for
have to
Ted
run
Cruz.
this country like a business. I mean, he was going
SK.
off. And I was
SK.
like, I voted for Marco Rubio. I didn't even tell anybody because I was so embarrassed. And now I'm not embarrassed to say that I voted for Marco Rubio in the 2016 primary.
I'm
SK.
embarrassed to say I voted for Ted
Let
Cruz
me
because I
let
did.
me.
Are we going to tell this story? Can we get
No,
back
no.
to the content,
No,
please?
No, we can't. Patriot Dad,
Holy crap.
would you like to tell the story of how you became a Trump supporter?
No. Go ahead and tell me this.
I'll
Tell everyone the story.
I
Fine.
will tell the story. So
This
wife,
is Nam's claim to fame.
my wife,
Because there would be
Mrs.
no
Nam,
Patriot Dad were it not for Nam.
There
At least
would
that's
be
what he
no
thinks.
Patriot Dad were it not for Mrs.
Well,
Nam.
Hold
actually.
on. I do want to say I
There
knew
would be no
Patriot
Patriot
Dad.
Dad.
I knew Patriot Dad way before I knew Nam because Nam didn't make any content or anything. And he told me on a regular basis, I can't wait for you to meet my brother. He looks just like me because we're twins, but he's so much smarter. And I just want you to know that he used to say
Bullshit.
that even when you weren't
Bullshit.
around. He did.
Way bullshit.
He
That's straight
he
bullshit.
said,
I
Straight
think
can't
I don't
wait
think I
for
said
you.
smarter. I said I
You
think I
did.
said savage.
You said smart. No, you said you
S-
did say that too, and you said and you'll like him because he cusses and he's really funny. But you also said he's smarter. You said we're twins
Stop.
and he's smarter. He said that. He said
All
it
right.
all the time.
Well, I
whichever-
appreciate that. That's
Whichever
you gotta-
side he's on the actual screen.
You got
But
to tell the
here's
story,
the
and then
story
can we
super
get back
quick.
to the
Super.
content?
We don't need to
please?
get back to this content. Fuck this content.
No, I do have
already know what's going on.
that we have to make. I have to make
Right.
this point, and then we got some funny stuff. to
So
get
the
to.
way that my wife, Mrs. Nam, read The Art of the Deal when she was like 10. My wife, she's got a double major. She's got a English literature major. She's read everything, literally everything that matters, like historically that matters. And she's
she's
always
much
been
smarter
a
than you are, for
huge,
sure.
way smarter than I am, like way smarter than I am. And she's freaking hot as shit, by the way.
That's
Yes.
facts. 100%.
she
That's
is
facts.
smoke
Mrs.
show hot.
Nam is hot.
Yes, but she is super smart, and she's always loved Trump. She loved from time she was little. Anyway, he came down the escalators, and I was like, I don't know, I like Ted Cruz and all this stuff, but I loved it, and I got to thinking about it. I was like, this guy again, he's going to run this country like a business. And then you go back and you listen to what Trump has said all the way back when he was with Oprah. Trump has never changed what he thinks about how to deal with Iran, how to deal with the economy, how to deal with China. It's not changed at all in like 40 years. None of it. So, so I'm on the Trump train, like your husband, SK. The second he floats down the golden escalators, I'm like, yep, I'm in. And I loved Ted Cruz. I like Marco Rubio. They were all great. But what I said to myself, I said, none of them will ever be able to withstand what Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are going to do to them. None of them will. They will fold like cheap suits. And that's what I told Patriot Dad. That's what I told my brother. One day, I called him up, or he called me. I don't know how it happened, but I was like, listen.
Oh, no. I was trashing Trump on Facebook because he was saying things that
you were
he was
trashing
because
Trump.
it was
You were
after
never
the debate.
Trump. Never Trump.
It was after the debate where him and Ted Cruz were going at it, and he basically left Ted Cruz in a bloody pulp laying on the stage, and Ted Cruz was like, never going to recover from that, and I was butthurt about it. I was very butthurt. I was very upset. This guy is a bull in a china shop. I was saying all the same things that you would expect Hillary Clinton to say. He's, all that, he's the devil, all of that stuff. And Nam calls me up, and he's like, dude, you got to knock it off. I'm like, no, I refuse to get behind this giant a-hole. And he's like, you don't understand. Nobody else on that stage is going to be able to withstand the onslaught of what Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are getting ready to do. And I was like, holy crap, you're right. And then I started listening.
2015.
That's right. And then I started actually listening to what Trump said. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy actually gets it. And from then on, I put on the MAGA hat. And now I'm convinced, because I've studied his record, not just the things that he said in the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s when he was talking about needing to remove the mullahs from Iran because they're a bunch of maniacs, not just when he accurately predicted that Iraq was going to be a giant disastrous quagmire and Bush was an idiot for taking us in there, even though I supported the Iraq war at the time because I was lied to, just like Tucker Carlson. This guy was right. All 49 years of bankruptcy. What?
Well, so I brought this up because listen, hey, 6 bankruptcies out of 500 companies is
It's a damn good success.
that's a
rate.
damn good. That's
Yeah.
like an amazing success story. Actually,
Exactly.
that's an
If you-
incredible business
yes,
record.
I used to
So
say
you
this in
keep
debates.
doing that, okay?
Yes,
You
I
keep-
used to
keep yes.
I used to say this in debates all the time because in
It's like-
his
It's a
statements of
1%
financial-
failure rate, for fuck's sake. Get out of
Right.
here.
In
Get outta
his
here.
statements of financial condition case, it lists the business entities. It says how many
Yeah.
there are because there was a court monitor. So I knew how many business entities he had currently during that
Get outta
case.
there.
So over time, he's probably had over a
Yeah, oh,
thousand,
yeah. Oh,
well
yeah.
over
Oh,
a
yeah.
thousand. And
6
you
of them
have-
he filed bankruptcy on. Yeah,
yes,
6.
if somebody came to you and told you you're going to have, 1,500 LLCs in your career or 2,000, and you're going to have 6 bankruptcies, would you take those odds?
Yes,
You would. Every
especially
single
when they're
freaking
Chapter 11,
time.
when they're restructuring
Yes, they're
bankruptcies.
restructuring.
Absolutely.
They're not even.
Jesus,
yeah,
come on.
exactly.
All right. Hey, did you guys see this?
Morons.
While we were
This-
while we were over
the
here
left
sliding
are full of fucking retards. I'm sorry.
while,
They're
while we
retards
were
that don't understand.
sliding while we were sliding down the shit show slide, the back office team was doing this. Did you guys see this?
What were they doing?
Look at this. Check this out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's great. I
They
love it.
made me my GIF. Is it GIF or GIF? They made it for me. How awesome is that?
That's
All right.
awesome.
I am
also,
taking-
Kate Pasto's on fire. I said when
right.
you were talking about your wife being hot, I said it's true. She's super hot. And I said, and she looks good in stripes. Who looks good in stripes? And Kate Pasto said, is she in
J-
prison?
Joe, our
No.
boy Joe here is going to look real good.
No,
in
she's
stripes.
just thin. She's just thin. She looks good in stripes.
All right. I want to get back to Joe and Tucker, except I'm going to skip forward just a little bit. We're going to let this.
You're
play
in
for a
charge.
few
I'm
minutes.
not doing it. I'm
Yeah,
not
stop.
doing it.
You guys need to
You're in
just let
charge.
me take
Well,
the
hold on.
reins
We
for a
have
few
to
minutes.
show the Marco Rubio as the Bachelorette. He's the next Bachelorette. Did you not see
That I did see that.
Okay, I'm
is the
taking the show
pathway
over.
to
You guys
that.
be
They're
quiet.
going to continue enriching at whatever percent. Enrichment became the narrative. And so that hung up and that short circuited and really sabotaged the entire negotiations because the Iranians basically said, like, we're not going to negotiate if the
No, the Iranians said we've got enough nuclear, whatever. We've got enough material to make 10 bombs. That's what they said. That's how they opened up their negotiation.
if the whole starting point is no enrichment. And again, that had nothing to do with a nuclear weapon, and the Iranians essentially agreed to that. So the Israelis came in, they moved that red line, and they would do a lot to say, like, oh, they're enriching. And you know what that means? That means in X amount of time, they could have a nuclear bomb. You have to ask now. And then the way the ecosystem would work is that the talking heads on TV, your Mark Levin's, Sean Hannity's, et cetera, they would say basically the exact same thing that night on TV, or there would be a piece written in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, that would say something very, very similar. Yet, if you looked in classified intelligence, we didn't see any. When it comes to
Stop.
what's our
Stop. Stop.
That-
Stop.
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 Right
Stop.
there.
Stop.
Lies.
Stop.
Did we
Stop.
play the
Did
John
he
Ratcliffe?
just try to say that Sean Hannity and the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times would all be posting the same shit?
Yeah.
This guy's just making shit up. I mean,
Well, here, let me play this for you, because you would think that if what he's saying is true, that the only information the Trump administration, that Donald Trump personally is getting, is information that's going directly from Mossad to Sean Hannity and Mark Levin to Donald Trump. Then that's what the gatekeeping theory is is that the people who should have been making the decision were not in the room to make the decision. So then help me understand this, because
National
this is John
Counterterrorism
Ratcliffe.
Center resigned, saying that Iran did not represent an imminent threat to the United States. Is there anything to indicate that Iran had ceased in its nuclear ambitions or in its desire to continue to build ballistic missiles capable of threatening American troops? And
Hold on,
No,
pause.
the
No,
answer
no,
is
no,
no.
no. I want to pause this real quick because John Cornyn is doing like very, very MAGA things right now, and John
'cause he's
Cornyn is
losing.
literally getting his ass beat by Ken Paxton.
That's the reason.
He's
Only
getting
reason why
like-
he showed up to this hearing.
Yeah.
Also,
no, yeah.
Waffles Bacon said, I heard Afro Man's running in 2028. Yeah, he said that, but that's because he won his lawsuit today. And if you haven't listened to it, go listen to Afro Man, Hunter Got High, because that's my favorite song of all time.
Love it.
Fair
All
enough,
right,
fair
let's
enough.
finish
All right,
this.
so-
You need to hear it. Hold on. Remember,
We do.
remember, information is being gate-kept away from Donald Trump, from the people who are supposed to be providing him the actual truth about the U.S. intelligence agencies that say that there's no intelligence.
allies in the Middle East?
Senator, no. In fact, the intelligence reflects the contrary.
So you disagree with Mr. Kent?
I do.
So I have a question for you. If the director of the CIA, and by the way, in this clip that I couldn't find the other version of it, right after that, John Cornyn turned to Tulsi Gabbard and said, do you agree with the director of the CIA? And she said, yes. So who exactly are the gatekeepers and who exactly is information being gatekept through? If the CIA director and the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, both say that the intelligence that we saw shows that there's an imminent threat, even though there doesn't need to be an imminent threat because that's the old rules-based system that says there has to be one, then who the hell are who's being gatekept away? Nam, who's being
I have a
gatekept
question.
away?
I don't know. I don't know anything about gatekeeping. What I know is you and I, Patriot Dad, you and I have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Like 9/11 is when you and I started doing this, and we remember precisely when it happened. I know exactly where I was. You know exactly where you were. We know when we both met. Like I was doing it, you were doing it. We're like, holy shit, we're both really interested in this stuff. It was like 25 fucking years ago. It was a long time
Dude,
ago.
I've been following politics my entire life. I used to ride around in the car
Yes.
with my parents listening to Paul Harvey.
Oh, we did too. Paul Harvey. I mean,
In the
The
back-
rest
back
of the
old-
story.
The back of the old Chevy
Yes.
wagon. Yep. Ford
Yes,
wagon. It was a Ford. anyway.
The only important thing that I have learned in 25 years of following politics, it's not like, randomly, it's incessantly. We have been in every platform, AOL, AIM, MySpace. I mean, all the way. It wasn't until he started putting his face on TikTok a year before I started putting my face on, but we were battling in all of these platforms, literally battling for 25 years. You learn who you trust and who you don't trust. And people you trust. I trust Rush Limbaugh. I trusted what Rush Limbaugh said. I trusted what he said. I trust Dan Bongino. I trust what he says because he's built that trust with me. He has. I'm sorry. He's built
I
that
trust
trust
Donald
with me.
Trump as much as
And
you can trust somebody in the
fucking trust
government.
Donald Trump. I trust fucking Radcliffe. He's over there. On my screen, he's over there. But on your screen, he's over there. I trust John Radcliffe because I know his body of work way before he was in that role, right? I trust
Cash Patel.
I
Yep.
trust Pam.
I don't know if I
Bondi
trust.
because-
I don't know if I trust Tulsi Gabbard that much, but she's earning my
well,
trust.
Same.
No,
I've
no.
always questioned Tulsi Gabbard, but I've also always questioned JD Vance. You
Mhm.
guys know that because that wasn't a
Yes.
popular opinion. And
But-
I said, I don't fully trust him, but he has earned my trust slowly. But now I'm kind of starting to not trust him again. But
I
also,
trust this guy. I trust this guy because listen, The CIA you should never trust. But John Radcliffe, I don't think is constituted in such a way where he's going to walk into the CIA and he's just going to be a different human being. No.
We wouldn't know
I
most
trust
of
him.
what we know about the Russian collusion hoax were it not for John Ratcliffe.
No.
Were it not, we wouldn't know half of it if it weren't for Cash
For
Patel.
Cash Patel.
So
Cash
in order,
Patel sued over the Operation
Yes.
Crossfire Hurricane. You guys, you can
I
go read all the
trust
court
them. I
documents.
do. I'm sorry. I
followed
trust.
that
And
the
you're going
whole
to prove me
time.
wrong, but I trust them. I trust them. I still do.
the problem that the libertarian fake ass black pill wannabe America first.
Because they don't have the history on this. They
Well,
don't
no,
have the history.
No. The problem that they have is they are going to have to convince a bunch of people that develop trust in John Ratcliffe, Cash Patel, all of these people that we watched, that we listened to, that we researched with, that we dug deep into the nether regions of the grand conspiracy hoax that were being run for 8 years against Donald Trump. These are the people who exposed it. These people. So now you're trying to convince me that just because you didn't get the Epstein files in the timeline that you wanted to get them, or just because some guy who is credibly accused of leaking wasn't allowed into the room to pitch the Candace Owens version of the Iranian and Israeli conflict, that now we have to throw our trust for Donald Trump and his agenda out the window? Pound sand. Pound sand. None of you have earned my trust, Candace Owens. None of you, Tucker Carlson, have earned the level of trust that these people that you are accusing of being gatekeepers of information, the same people that Donald Trump handpicked, the same people that he nominated, the same people that he went to war with for years, defending the country, defending his name, getting to the bottom of the coup, the grand conspiracy against him and against the American people. These are the guys that did
Which, by the way, is still going on.
That's right. It's still going on. And now you seem to be playing your role in it, by the way. But there is one more thing that we have to get to in the Joe Kent, Tucker Carlson. Did I say C word? I said Candace. Did I say Candyland?
You did.
Okay.
You said Candace.
All right.
You
We're
did
going
say-
back
yeah.
because there's a part here that
Uh-oh.
we have to deal with. All right. So there is this narrative being created out there that the only reason that we went to war in Iran is because Israel dragged us into it. Now, I want you to hear from Joe Kent his perspective on how this happened. All right. This is important. So pay attention.
Goal in a war that's going to have ramifications for our nation, for the region, for global energy supplies.
So we're going to let this play
think
for a few minutes.
Most folks right now at the Pentagon and the intelligence agencies, they would say us and the Israelis actually have a different objective here. I don't believe that our objective has been clearly defined because we're shying away from regime change. The Israelis are not shying away from regime change. They want to knock out lock, stock, and barrel the current government. They don't seem to have a plan for what
That's my next
comes
question. And I think you would have heard tell of such a plan. So if you're going to take out a government, I think it's fair to ask what replaces it. And I have asked a bunch of people, many people, this question, never gotten any answer whatsoever other than there's no plan. The Israelis don't have a plan because they don't care. Do you think that's fair?
I think that's completely fair. I think as Americans, rightfully, we want a clear stated objective and end state for war. I think that's something that was born out of the GWAT, was born out of the Vietnam era. Americans want to know why we're going to war, what the end state is, and they can get on board in general if that's clearly articulated. That's not the case with Iran. The Israelis are different. I think a lot of times, again, because a lot of them speak English, they culturally feel the same, but the Israelis have a much different tolerance for how and why they're going to war and for their endurance for war. The Israelis are completely fine with Iran slipping into chaos. That means that the Ayatollah and the IRGC can't really threaten them anymore. Hezbollah's money might be cut off in their head. And so complete chaos in Iran,
Can I stop
it's not
real quick?
necessarily a bad
Can I
thing
stop?
for the Israelis.
Can I
For
stop?
us,
He's made the point, the major point that I needed him to make was just
Can I stop? Can I stop?
Yep.
Because that what he just said is the I need to get this off the screen. That Israel has a very different sort of appetite in what they will accept because it's existential for them, right? And it is completely existential. And I'm sorry, I don't know if the black pill, the doomers and gloomers, the libertarians that are trying to take over the MAGA party, Israel is our only friend in the world right now. So if that's an existential belief of theirs, an existential goal of theirs, they don't care really what happens with Israel or Iran, because if Iran goes to chaos, I don't know if you know this, there's like 80% of the country who wants it to get back to a culturally progressive, culturally like normalized country, not an Islamic country. I'm not worried about Iran falling into another even worse version of what they currently have at all. But if Israel's like, listen, that'd be like, hey, that'd be like, my brother's like, hey, you know, I got a problem with those folks. You want to help me deal with them? Yeah, I'll help you deal with them.
Yeah.
We're going to beat the fuck out of them
I
and
got a
then let them
shovel.
figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
Let them figure it out.
But
I'm sorry. Israel's our only friend right now. They are literally our only friend. And it's not because of what we're doing. It's because of what we're doing impacts their money, the rest of them.
But we should also point out that our return on investment with Israel is actually pretty great. We don't just send money to Israel for nothing. We get a lot in return, including the fact that, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Israel implanted a completely artificial heart in a human being, and it's working still. And that technology comes to the United States after they develop it. I mean, we get we get all kinds of things. And just like Sarah Adams said in that interview with Sean Ryan, because of the fact that they're basically at war constantly with Iran and their proxies, they have the best intelligence the same way the United States would if Mexico or Canada or someone close to us was constantly trying to blow us up. We would know all the intelligence because you'd be in there. You'd have people in there giving you all the intelligence. And Israel is the one that's in there in Iran. And that's why we get the best intelligence from Israel when it comes to Iran.
I want to take issue with something that Joe Kent said. I don't disagree with him at all on the point that he made that we have very different agendas in the Middle East. Well, with Iran, Israel and the United States have different agendas.
Yes, we do.
He is,
and that's okay. That's okay.
That is exactly the point. He and Tucker Carlson and all of these people are trying to present that as a problem. I'm telling you, it is not a problem. And in fact, Donald Trump stepping in when Israel, okay, think of it this way. Israel has an agenda. Their agenda is we want to completely and totally destroy the country that has been terrorizing us for 47 years. We want them dead. We want them gone. We want them wiped off the face of the earth. And the Trump administration says, we also would like the agents of chaos in the Middle East that we are trying to leave to regional control to be neutered, and if so, to be removed. Have the mullahs removed. We agree with you there. Israel's intention is, I don't care if we have to blow up the entire damn country to do it. Donald Trump's intention is, no, we're going to leave an Iran that the Iranian people can then rebuild from. So when Israel goes to the president of the United States and says, we believe that they are X number of days or weeks or a month away from creating the nuke that they're going to use to drop on our heads, and we're going to go in and we're going to destroy them, Donald Trump steps in and says, no, we're going to go with you and we're going to rein your asses in. And you've already seen Donald Trump do that multiple times. Israel has followed through on their agenda, which is to destroy everything. And Donald Trump has said, stop it, because we agree and align on the agenda that the mullahs had to go. Israel wanted the entire country destroyed. Donald Trump wants an Iran that can be rebuilt, just like he did in Venezuela. He doesn't care about whether or not Venezuela fully adopts American principles. What he cares about is the leader of the Venezuelan drug cartel, Maduro, to be arrested and removed. Maduro's second in command is now in charge of Venezuela and is working with the United States, is cooperating with us. Donald Trump wants partners in the region. Israel wanted destruction in Iran. So when Joe Kent and the Libertarians and the fake ass black pill want to be America First crowd think that Israel drug us into war, they did not. They said, we're going to war. And Donald Trump said, not without us, you're not, because we need to make sure that you leave a region that we can then help to rebuild and leave from. Because if Iran is left in nothing but chaos, we know, oh, clip it, clip it, clip it, clip it. Folks, the bottom line is Israel was going to blow Iran to smithereens. And Donald Trump is the thing that stood in the way of it and said, I need a Middle East that we can pull all of our troops out of very soon. So
Yes.
Israel, we're going to rein you in along the way. And he's done it. You've seen him do it publicly.
What you just said, where Iran said we're going to attack, because the Joe Kent story of this was Iran's going to attack, and they dragged Trump into it. The other side of that is Israel said we're going to go obliterate Iran, and Trump said, actually, no, you're not. We're going to do it, and we're going to rein you asses in, and we're going to make sure when you do it, because you have every right to do it and every reason to do it, that when you do it, you're going to do it in such a way.
You're going to do it our way.
You're going to do it our way in such a way that you're going to leave a country that the Iranian people, the Persians, not the Shia Muslims, the Persians can actually have their country back.
That's right.
And we can be partners with them.
You have to look.
Can we
at
clip
this.
that too?
Yes,
Can
you
we
can
clip
clip
all
that.
of this entire fucking thing?
This whole
entire
segment.
thing.
We can
Whoever's
scrap
clipping
out
it,
the. We
this
can scrap
entire
out
segment.
the.
Yeah.
We can
This
clip
entire
that part
segment.
out.
This
This
is a
segment
fantastic
is
segment.
so critically important for you to understand. You have to look at this conflict from the perspective of the Abraham Accords, the Monroe Doctrine, and the American economic system that's being implemented. That's right. Cuba is next. Cuba is going willingly because the writing is on the wall.
Right. Well, I mean,
Cuba's negotiating already.
Cuba has. There's not going to be a single bullet fired. Nothing aggressive is going to happen to Cuba.
That's
I mean, it doesn't have to, because they have no support. They don't have Venezuela. They don't have Russia. They don't have Iran.
They have
don't have China. They have nothing. They have nothing.
Code Pink coming to the rescue.
Code
I wonder
Pink.
how that's going to go over with the protesters.
Well,
that have
hopefully
been
they
in the
get fucking
streets with
arrested
no
while
power.
they're there. That would be
But
great if
can
they
you
get arrested.
imagine being a protester in Cuba with a communist regime that's shutting off your power for days at a time, and you're like starving and all those things, and then you have these Americans with Code Pink like coming into the country to support the regime?
That's right.
Like, what?
Hey, real Chris Cockrell. That's literally the national security strategy that Trump pushed out back in December. You're right. This is the point. It's the American system. It is the American system where we are consolidating everything in the Western Hemisphere. We don't need anybody else. But we'll trade with them. We want them to be successful. We want to work with them, but we're going to consolidate all of our productivity. We're going to consolidate rare earth minerals. We're going to consolidate the arsenal of the 21st century, which is oil, energy. It's not bombs. It's not boats. It's not submarines. It's not. It's AI. It's technology. It's data centers. It's rare earth minerals. It's space. And we're going to do that in the Western Hemisphere is what we're going to do for our own good.
That's right.
Good.
All right. We got 12 minutes left, and there's two things
some
that
funny stuff in there too.
I know,
Don't
but
be
I
all
need you
serious,
guys to hear
Patriot
this,
Dads.
because one of the arguments that these idiots are making is that there's no plan, that there's no strategy in place.
Show. It's not a serious show.
I know, but here's Pete Hegseth, and you got to play Pete Hegseth because the guy's incredible. By the way, SK, if you're gonna like swoon over somebody, it should probably be this guy.
Different.
Dude,
It's laser focused.
He's swoonable.
decisive.
He's swoonable.
He's
Our
good looking too,
objectives,
but
given directly from our
Jokin's pretty
America
hot.
First president, remain exactly what they were on day one. These are not the media's objectives, not Iran's objectives, not new objectives.
Not Tucker
our
Carlson's.
objectives. unchanged, on target, and on plan.
And articulated.
Destroy missiles, launchers, and Iran's defense industrial base so they cannot rebuild. Destroy their navy, and Iran never gets a nuclear weapon.
Which is really weird because that's the same objective that was stated from the first moment that we decided to start launching these attacks. And yet we're
Which, by
continuing
the
to
way,
there's no strategy. There's no objective.
Which, by the way,
that's the objective.
The day after this started, they said this will take about 4 weeks. Are we 4 weeks into this?
We're just now 3.
Just now 3 weeks into it. We're like, they said it's going to take about 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. And everybody's like, oh, it's over. We've got.
All right.
But I said at the time,
now remember,
the other team gets a first down. The game's over. No, it's not.
You MAGA ladies in the comments that are after me saying that Joe Kent's hot, y'all are disowned. You're not in the family anymore.
I am getting ready.
None of these women are supporting me saying that Joe Kent's good looking.
Go to the bathroom.
Is this going to go on?
Hey,
Just
you go to the bathroom. That way I can get through a clip without you interrupting me. We can actually play. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So,
did you just say that?
Remember also, wow, it's a lot quieter in here now. Listen to that. Folks, you also remember that they are now, in order for Tucker Carlson and for Joe Kent and all of these people's theories to be right about the Iranian attacks turning into an Iraqi quagmire, the only way for that to be right is if we're losing. And here is Pete Hegseth
objectives
explaining the other way.
Day one. We're winning decisively and on our terms. To date, we've struck over 7,000 targets across Iran and its military infrastructure. That is not incremental. That is overwhelming force applied with precision. And again, today will be the largest strike package yet, just like yesterday was. As I've said from day one, our capabilities continue to build. Iran's continue to degrade. We're hunting and striking death and destruction from above. Iran's air defenses flattened. Iran's defense industrial base, the factories, the production lines that feed their missile and drone programs, being overwhelmingly destroyed. We've hit hundreds of their defense industrial bases directly. Their ability to manufacture new ballistic missiles has probably taken the hardest hit of all. Ballistic missile attacks against our forces, down 90% since the start of the conflict. Same with one-way attack UAVs. Think kamikaze drones, down 90%. Now, the Iranians will still shoot, we know that, but they would shoot a lot more if they could, but they can't. The last job anyone in the world wants right now? Senior leader for the IRGC. Or besiege.
Amen.
Temp
this
jobs.
Is my favorite part coming up.
All of them. And to borrow a page from Admiral Ernest King in World War II, we've decided to share the ocean with Iran. We've given them the bottom half. We've damaged or sunk over 120 of their Navy ships, with battle damage assessments pending for many more. Their surface fleet is no longer a factor. Their submarines, they once had 11, are gone. Their military ports are crippled.
Tucker Carlson, I have some bad news for you. We are not losing this conflict. We are not losing this mission. Not only are we not losing it, they are winning in a major way, and they're doing exactly what they planned on doing, which is exactly what Pete Hegseth laid out earlier, to destroy their ballistic missile capacity, to make sure they can't build new ones, and to ensure that they never get a nuclear weapon. That's what they've been doing, and that's what they're going to continue to do until the work is done. And I promise you that here in the next few weeks, it's going to be over. As a matter of fact, I think somebody just sent this to us a little bit ago, and I want to make sure I pull it up here. Here it is. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but just earlier today, Donald Trump says we're getting very close to meeting our objectives as we consider winding down our great military efforts in the Middle East with respect to the terrorist regime of Iran, completely degrading Iranian missile capacity, launches, and everything else pertaining to them, destroying Iran's defense industrial base, eliminating their Navy and Air Force, including anti-aircraft weaponry, never allowing Iran to even get close to a nuclear capacity or capability, and always being in a position where the USA can quickly and powerfully react to such a situation, should it take place. Protecting at the highest level our, I can barely read this, my eyes are getting that bad, Middle Eastern allies, including Israel, et cetera, et cetera. So he's already signaling that they're getting ready to wind this down. And why? Well, let's let Victor Davis Hanson explain.
Please. I love
anytime
Victor
VDH shows up on the scene, you got to show a VDH clip. Is it up here?
You absolutely have to.
I'm going to have to pull it up.
Folks, if you do not follow Victor Davis Hanson, if you do not absorb everything this man says, because we don't have many years with him left, you need to absorb it.
Here we go. VDH
you need
for
to
the win. Come on, VDH. You need to come up and play.
Come on.
There we go. Here it comes.
Not the evidence to see how things are really going. It's Europeans would never agree to go anywhere near Iran unless they thought the tide was turning and they think that we're going to win. Otherwise, they would keep still. And the reason that the petro-nations of the Gulf survive is they have their finger in the wind and they're very attuned to the climate. And when you have Al Jazeera praising the United States bombing campaign and saying that it's been underestimated and it's brilliant and effective, you get the feeling that they think not only should the United States finish the job, but it can and will finish the job. And then when you start to see tactical aircraft like Warthogs and Apaches, that means that they're offering almost ground and sea support to hit targets. There's nothing, there's no defense at all when you have that type of aircraft flying at will in Iranian airspace. So you put it all together, and I think it's pretty clear that this rope-a-dope strategy that they have, that we're going to tire before they are, is dependent on just public opinion, the midterms in the United States. And if Trump sees it through, and I think he will, I think they're going to fall pretty soon. And
hold on.
There you go. What's going on over in the chat?
MAGA for Life said, finally a sane channel. Who's going to tell them?
What? That we've been a sane channel for 70 some episodes.
70? We're not in 70.
Yeah. Well, we've got 60 plus 7 after hours. And
What's going on in the chat over there?
70.
Did we miss something? Did somebody say or send us something that we shouldn't have seen or that we missed?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What's going on?
I saw Guarding the Grid say like they don't check the chats or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah. We were joking because I said
No,
I
I
totally
watched
sent
the
that to his
chats.
social post right after he posted it.
Oh,
It's in the Dropbox.
I literally send freaking comments to the chat all the time.
Well, let's I'm going to take a bunch of this stuff down. Actually, Nam, you're probably going to need to take a bunch of stuff down because I want to make sure SK puts a lot of effort into these shows. And she goes out. She goes out and
That's a lie.
She goes out and she tries to find some of the best things that she thinks needs to be shown.
Did you just say SK puts a lot of effort in?
She puts a ton of effort.
He totally lied. He's gonna have to ask for forgiveness tonight.
But she does. She brings the heat. Like she loves to throw stuff like this into the Dropbox, and she wants us to talk about it.
Yes,
she wants us to talk about Marco Rubio when he realizes he has to be the next Bachelorette. I have no idea what this even means, but that guy looks really gross.
I know what this means.
Taylor
I know what this means.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She's a hot mess, and I don't even know.
Okay, all right, so.
She's
tell me the story.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to tell you the story. Right. So TikTok, which you came to fame on, and I rode your coattails like happily. I was like, I grabbed right onto those fucking coattails. Like, give me a ride, take me places. I right on those coattails, and I have not even remotely. I have no problem with that. With saying that out loud at all. Anyway. TikTok also had this whole like Mormon like lifestyle, right? There were these huge Mormon creators and how great they were, and then they had this scandal where all of these Mormon couples
they were swinging.
They were like swinging. They were swingers.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
They were Mormon swingers, and then they had a Bravo Mormon wives show that came out of it.
I've seen
and
it.
One of them got divorced and she was getting ready to be
Taylor.
the next Bachelorette.
That's Taylor.
Oh.
She
Right?
was no,
On
they already
The
filmed
Bachelorette.
it. It's done. They canceled
already
it
filmed
like
it. It was done.
3 days
And it
before
turned
it was
out,
supposed to air.
and it turned out right before it was supposed to air, one of her ex whatevers published a video. I'm so embarrassed that I know this. But have you met my?
Dude,
but you know
she
my wife,
threw-
right? You know
she
my wife. You
threw-
know my wife.
Hold on, Nom.
She
hold
literally
on.
threw
She
a
threw
whole
a
ass
bar
kitchen
stool.
furniture
Yes,
at this dude's
at
face
this dude,
with
but
her baby.
kid, her baby.
She hit
brand
her
new
baby with a chair while she was
Yes.
throwing it at this dude. She threw it at a dude, and the dude's like, "Your baby's right over here." And she's like, "I don't care." Threw a chair at him, and it hit the baby,
She
and the
picked
baby
up
cried.
another one. She like doubled
threw it
down.
again.
She didn't give a shit. She picked up another one. There were
Yes.
multiple bar stools
So-
at the bar, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. So,
So-
Marco Rubio, when he realizes he has to be the next Bachelorette,
Because they canceled it, so they recorded it. They did the whole thing. It was getting ready to air in like 3 days, and now Marco Rubio is the next Bachelorette.
And it's all
Yes.
because of the Jews, I'm sure.
It's the
It's the Jews.
It's
All right.
the
All right.
Jews.
Now, I actually did have, so I took notes tonight
No, it's 2 hours. We're
and
done.
prepared.
hold
no,
on.
this is
There's
quick.
a baby video too, and it's good.
This is super
It's-
fast.
It's
At
2
the
hours.
very
It's done. We're
at the
done.
very top of my list of things I wanted to talk about, I had
hold
Marjorie
on.
Taylor. Wait, genius move from penetration. Yeah, they're set to unsanctioned Iranian oil. Yep, that's right. They're going to unsanction Iranian oil, flood the market with it. Hopefully, it'll tame prices for 2 weeks to 3 weeks until they wrap
And
this
they'll
whole
have
thing
to
up.
trade in the U.S.
Hey,
dollar.
Costo, thank you. I'm glad somebody's
And they'll
on my
trade in the
side
U.S.
tonight.
dollar. That's
We
it.
want
Said
the
it.
fun videos. Okay, well, let me do
Well,
this.
we'll just
We
keep
can go a
going.
few
I
minutes
mean, we
late.
can
It's
keep, we
fine.
can keep going. Who cares? I mean,
Patriot Mom has had
It's
full access to me
Friday.
for 2 weeks, so I can
she
do a
is.
little
She
bit
has
of later
owned
show.
you for.
Friday.
She's owned you for 10 days.
Every
11
party
days.
has a pooper. That's why we invited you. Party
Party
pooper.
pooper. I hear you. All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene may be the dumbest person to have ever stepped foot in Congress. Now, I used to believe that AOC was the dumbest member of Congress. I'm pretty convinced now that it is not AOC, that in fact it is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Did you guys see this? Marjorie Taylor Greene posted a couple hours ago, according to reports, Trump is preparing to send ground troops into Iran, breaking a key covenant of MAGA and a significant escalation in the Iranian war. And then she went on to say, never forget it was Trump who started COVID lockdowns with 15 days to slow the spread in 2020 while he was running Operation Warp Speed for our safety. If energy prices skyrocket and supply is strained, will Trump force us into an energy lockdown, limiting our freedom to drive, travel, and use energy?
I'd like
while
to
he
stop.
wages-
Can you stop?
Can you believe
Stop.
that this is a woman?
Stop.
Dumbest member of
I
Congress.
want to know about the
Stop.
feet pictures. Kate Poster needs
Everybody
to come up here
stop.
and tell us
Everybody
about these
stop.
feet
Everybody
photos.
stop. Because didn't we just drag her in our last show when she posted a picture that was from 2017? Has she posted anything that was real?
No, she's
No.
getting paid just like Massey.
Which is really
Can I-
weird because this
can
is
I tell a story?
MTG before she decided to start taking money from radical Islamists,
Yeah.
where she was
Well,
talking
now
about
she's taking
Iran
money
and-
from Iran. Yeah, she's taking money
now
from
she's
Iran.
taking it from
Yeah,
these guys.
on a
Iran has
trade,
chanted
yeah.
death to America. Never forget that Biden sent 1.7 billion pallets of cash to Iran. This is the MTG that was grifting off of MAGA.
I have a problem. I have a problem. Here's my problem. My problem
GR
is
Patriots
that
putting you in your place.
Who
me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. GR Patriot said, didn't we just go over this, guys?
Yeah, we did. We
We
did.
did.
Well,
Hold on,
Donald
hold
Trump
on.
had something for her today too.
No, I have a hold on. I have a problem with MTG, like an actual problem, because I'm actually going to see her most likely face to face in about 2 weeks. Because her son is in the same fraternity that my oldest kid is in. And we're going to be at Parents Weekend. We're going to be in Parents Weekend in 2 weeks, and I'm going to run into Marjorie Taylor Greene again in 2 weeks.
Rumble for the win. Cat Mother B says she's a he.
Amen. Well, here's what it's funny because Donald Trump was saying this at the exact same time that she was out
Hey,
there
hold on.
alleging.
What is going on in the comments?
I have
Let
no
them
idea
run
what
the
you guys
show.
are-
Yeah, it's a fucking shit show. Of course it is. It's absolutely
It's
a shit
always
show.
a shit show. It's just
Is
an
GR
extra.
Patriot?
on
Are,
our
are,
shit
are,
show.
are we
Quiet.
offending GR Patriot?
Potentially put U.S.
He said
troops
quiet.
or more troops in the region.
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you. But I'm not putting troops, and we will do whatever is necessary to keep the price as well. I actually thought when I did this, look, the Dow just.
So my question, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the dumbest member of Congress to ever step foot in the halls of that building, who exactly told
Is
you
she
that Donald
really?
Trump was considering putting troops in the Middle East? Because that's Donald Trump right there. I don't know where he's at on the screen. That's Donald Trump right there saying, no, I'm not doing that. Who told you that? Who was it?
It was that lady from Japan. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, that
wouldn't
lady
have-
from Japan's a big fan of Trump, actually.
Yeah, I put some videos in the Dropbox about that too because they're
Yeah,
funny.
she's a big Trump fan.
All right, I got one more, and then you guys can play whatever dumb, silly videos that you want to play.
Oh my gosh,
this-
you're acting like you don't even care about the dumb, funny videos. That's the best
Wait,
part.
you're acting like you didn't
Hey.
realize that the Nom and SK shit show was actually the best performing episodes that we've ever had. By
Yeah,
the
we'll
way,
see about that.
like literally we've ever had.
Oh my
So-
god, he's rubbing it in.
I saw this, and I had to grab it. So this is the Kobayashi report. I don't have any idea who these people are, but I'm supposed to take them seriously because they are a letter, right? They issue a letter to people. So President
And
Trump
it's got
today.
a gold check mark.
That's right. President Trump today, 3:43 p.m. I don't want to do a ceasefire with Iran. At 5:13, the U.S. is considering winding down the war with Iran. What changed over these 90 minutes? Now, I want you to remember these people are all operating under the rules-based order, right?
Yes.
The rules-based order says that when you engage in military conflict, the way you end a military conflict is for both sides to agree to a ceasefire. You go back to your corners and you continue to be the a-holes that you were being before. It means Iran is allowed to continue terrorizing their neighbors. The United States has to just continue to take it. That's the rules-based order. So when the Kobayashi letter asked the question, what changed? Nothing changed. What you saw there between 3:43 is why would we agree to a ceasefire when we just kicked their ass? And what
Well-
you see at 5:13 is we're considering winding down because we're done kicking their ass.
Right.
That's
so
the story.
well, I mean, because between 3:43 and 5:13, they told us that we agreed that we were going to share the ocean. We're going to give them the bottom. I mean, the entire Navy. Iran doesn't have a Navy. They're gone.
anymore.
It's at the bottom of the ocean. They don't have an
Whoa.
Air Force. They don't have an army. They have nothing. They have a few IRGC lunatics that are still running around. That's okay. We're going to deal with them with drones, like we've seen with the blockades and all that. No. Yeah. So it's not a ceasefire. It's a you can no longer fire.
Hold on. Somebody
You
said
can't fire
Aaron had a
anymore.
baby this
Who?
week.
Baron had a baby.
Who's
Is he
Aaron?
married?
What are you guys talking about in the comments
Who
over
had a
there
baby?
on
Baron
Rumble?
had a
had a
baby.
baby
I
this
don't
week.
know. I missed
This is
that.
this is lovable Dash. I think just throwing like piles of poop into the
No,
conversation.
Baron turned 20. Baron did not have. Oh, he had a birthday.
A
Baron had
B-day.
a
Oh,
B
not
day.
baby.
Not a
Dude,
baby.
this is what
Fucking
happens
SK.
when
Jesus,
you guys
SK.
guys
Yes.
come to the chat
Yes,
like
SK.
soft, you can't read.
Yes.
I
Oh,
It's a-
can't
no,
read.
no,
You
that's
guys-
totally. That's all.
You
That's
guys,
all on
I'm gonna
SK.
pull a
That's
Gavin
all on
Newsom.
SK.
Hold
All
on,
on
hold
SK.
on.
All on
Stop
SK.
making fun of people with disabilities. I'm Gavin Newsom,
No,
and
that
I
is
am
yes.
dyslexic.
Baron turned
okay?
20. He did have a B day. He turned 20. He did not have a baby. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Holy crap. We
That-
should just wrap this show up, but I think SK would be
Why?
upset if we
Why?
didn't play
We're
this.
having a great time. Why do you?
Yes,
we got
I put
we
some
got
funny
90
videos.
live viewers
looking
on
person
Rumble.
from let me pick a beautiful looking person from Japan. A question for the Prime Minister. Go ahead. Yeah, sure. Oh, he doesn't believe he's beautiful. Oh,
Well, this is hilarious. What is this? Oh, mark out. Mark out.
go ahead, please.
of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends. But one question: why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? You know, he's asking me. Now you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us, and we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out the first 2 days. Knocked out.
This is probably the
50%
greatest
of what
freaking video ever made. Actually, this is amazing. Can you send this to me? My wife needs to see this. Send this to my wife.
It's in the Dropbox, dude.
Dude, my wife needs to see this
Dude, I put this stuff in the
immediately.
Dropbox all the time.
Listen.
You guys don't ever watch it.
Hold on, SK, stop. SK, you also put like 98-page PDFs in the Dropbox, and you're like,
Stay pissed, y'all.
Like, no,
there's a lot more coming.
We did.
I put that
We
in
did
there
not
too.
read your 98-page PDF. No, we didn't.
know. Nobody.
Do you guys?
reads it.
So now you guys
Nobody
see all
reads.
the hard work that SK puts into preparing for these shows. She drops in baby videos and
All kinds of it. She doesn't label them at all.
She never labels
It's
them.
like screenshot.
That's
Da da da
actual
da da da
bullshit.
da da da.
No, that's actual bullshit. I label them funny. Read the labels I put on that stuff because they're funny.
That was good. I do have to give you credit for that one. There's more. I mean, I got a couple more I can
You're
do in here.
welcome.
That was okay. I'm gonna have to go here soon though, because you guys are wearing me out tonight. All right. So what is this, SK? Is this yours too?
We're gonna be so grounded. No,
dude,
we are in so much trouble.
You can't
Oh, is this a
ground us.
video? That's a
Hey,
video.
you can't ground us because I have control of the system too.
When
We
the
can go live
Patriot source
whenever we want. Whenever we want, we
Well,
can
I
have a
don't know
shit
how to
show.
What's
operate
this?
it.
What is this?
No, I do. We can go
Yes,
live
hello,
whenever the fuck we want.
everybody. Thank you so much. Thank
Oh,
you.
God, what is
Truly
this?
an honor to be here. This is my first Catholic event, so I will never forget this. I just have that Catholic excitement. Just me. I did this. I walk a lot. I do. I walk every day. I've just walked 14 miles. My Apple Watch has died. I'm not kidding. I would say I was feeling good. I was like, but I'm doing good. I was like, I'm so.
I can't. What is going on?
How
Does
did
that
we
get
not
better?
lead this entire show? How did we not lead the show with that fucking video?
I don't know because
What?
I put that in
What?
there this morning.
How did we not
It's
lead the
been in there
show
all
with that
day.
video? What? That's so great.
I don't understand.
Ow.
What was I watching?
Ow.
What was that?
How did we not lead the
She's
show with that?
Hold on. Let me just point out for the record.
SK, you
okay?
got to tell us what
It
you're putting in
says
there. You have to tell
Catholics
us
for
what's going in the
Catholics.
box.
It says Catholics for Catholics, and it says Candace references herself, and it's like 4,472 times Candace references God. There's nothing.
Hold on. We'll skip 1, 2. Okay, I see the point. 4, 10. Okay, so Candace referenced herself 349 times.
Narcissism in a short video. If
versus
you ever
15.
needed to understand narcissism, it's right here.
I
So
get it. Okay.
yeah, but for a podcast like this, right? For a show that we've got here, SK, you have to tell us what you're putting in there. And that's the equivalent of putting a 95-page PDF in there and saying, "Did you read it?" No. Tell us you have this.
No.
This is great. We should
I
have played
know
this.
everything
like,
I put in there is
early.
great. I don't put anything in there that's not great.
Why don't you tell us?
I
Okay,
do.
SK, you put this in here, and I remember when you dropped it in the Dropbox, you were like raging in the chat. So I'm gonna need you to respond to this if you don't mind. What is this?
Oh yeah, that's that bitch. Listen,
this
if I ever
fucking
get a hold of
bitch.
her, I'm
This
gonna
fucking
slap
bitch.
the plastic right out of her face. She's so dumb. Do you guys follow her on X?
Oh God, no. I blocked her a long time ago.
She's a mute account. Mute her.
I
Mute
think I
her,
said
block
in our
her,
group.
mute her.
Yeah, I think I said in our group text, and this is for entertainment only, no threats, but I think I literally said, I'm going to slap the plastic out of this bitch's face because she says the dumbest stuff on X and people follow her.
Yep.
No, hold on.
She's a rage engaged. She's a rage farmer. That's what she is.
Okay. So I said, listen, she's stop. Get off the screen. There's so many. Listen, Thomas Crooks, no government outrage. Well, Thomas Crooks is dead. So, okay. There's an investigation, which, by the way, Joe Kent has a problem with. And Dan Bongino was very clear that he offered Joe Kent
maybe we should play
a briefing.
That. We have that.
No, I don't think we played that. Actually.
No, let's play it. We have it.
Let's play it. Let's play it. Because I want to go down through every single one of these. Every single one of these. Because this is important. This plastic face, SK, you say it. I can't say it because she's the one that I can't do it.
I don't know how many times I got
plastic out of that bitch's face.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, here we go. This is Dan Bongino responding to Joe Kent's fabricated nonsense, ridiculous lie about Butler.
I don't know how many times I got to tell you all this. We have gone over Butler so many times. We did a 2-hour interview with Brooke Singman from Fox. I'm going to, the receipt's incoming, I promise you. Did Joe Kent miss the interview? We brought her down and sat her in our office with the case agent for 2 hours and went through everything. Everything. You can actually see the article, Joe. We don't know anything about Butler. We went through everything with the case agent to the point where she had no more. She had a list of questions. We were done. We briefed the president multiple times on Butler, and the president said, and I quote, he's completely satisfied with it. Again, gatekeeper theory. So the president's satisfied with Butler. The guy who was more than interested in Butler than anyone is me, being a Secret Service agent too before. And yes, everybody's lying to the president who's completely satisfied, and he's just too dumb to notice. But Joe knows. Joe knows about Butler. I want you to know something. I offered Joe face to face, and you know it, Joe, don't bullshit people. I offered him a briefing on Butler. Did he show up to FBI headquarters to take it? No way. He did not. That's a fact,
He didn't show
bro.
up. He didn't show up.
You are a liar.
I think we can pause there, can't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's Dan Bongino flat out telling Joe, whatever his stony faced, chiseled jaw, llama hair dude.
Llama hair.
Telling him he's a liar because, in fact,
he offered him a briefing and he
not only did he offer
show
a
up
briefing,
to take it.
But Joe Kent went on to say that nobody's been able to access Thomas Crook's devices. And in this clip, I remember hearing this the other day. Bongino went through a list.
Fucking who cares?
Well,
we're already over 2 hours. Fuck,
I
we'll
know.
go 3. Who cares? Let's do it.
No, we're not going 3. We're
we got
done
all
here very,
night.
very soon. We don't
You
have all
can
night.
go, Patriot Dad.
You guys are I'm not leaving this ship in the hands of 2 drunken sailors. It's not
Are you
happening
kidding
tonight.
me? We
great
freaking
without you,
crushed
It
it.
is
We
not
crushed
happening
it for
tonight.
10
Crushed
days.
it.
Hey, chat. Do you think that they could leave
Is
the
there a
show?
poll option on?
No, you can barely
StreamYard?
keep your eyes open right now. What are
My
you
eyes
talking
are
about?
wide open.
That hurt Bongino. It did. You know what? This really did hurt Bongino because he said at the beginning of this, he said, I consider Joe Kent a friend, and Joe
Yes.
Kent betrayed us because
Yes.
everything that he said about the Butler attempted assassination was clearly a fabrication pulled right from the headlines of the Candyland cult. And screw it. We're playing it. Here you go.
And a bullshitter.
Just play it. Play the whole fucking
And
thing.
you know it. I offered you that briefing, and you didn't take it. You have hidden knowledge about something that happened at Butler? He's got hidden knowledge, folks. Amazing. The president, he was shot in the head in Butler. He was shot in the head. No one spoke out more about the Secret Service failures than me. My first week on the job, I had the case agent in my office with an entire team, including a former Secret Service agent, briefing me about Butler. You know something? Spit it out. Grow a pair. Spit it out. You got some hidden knowledge? Let's hear it. I told you what I got. I'll show you the Fox News article. I'll show you exactly what I have. All you got is, I bet a black box. Well, what's in it? Something. Well, what's in it? Something. There's the piece, November 21st. This was last year. Brooks Singman. FBI concludes that crooks acted alone after unprecedented global investigation. You want me to lie to you? You want me to, hey man, here's what's in the file. That Thomas Crooks had 50 other accomplices. Did he really? Can you show us that? No, I can't. I'm just making it up to make Joe Ken happy.
Can I just say, can we pause this? Can I just say, how do we get back? Can I just say that the Thomas Crooks, the Trump assassination attempt, Butler, all of that stuff, and a number of other things, for we all had ideas of what actually happened. And then the people that had ideas went into the government and they got to look at the evidence. Now, this is problematic, right? This is problematic for me because the people went into government and they got a look at after the fact, because Dan Bongino went into government after Butler happened, after the investigation, after the FBI, after the Secret Service, after they had done all whatever the evidence they were going to collecting. He came in afterwards, and after that, he looked at it and he was like, "There's nothing there.
It's not there.
It's not there. There's nothing there." So, two options exist, right? Two. One option is, yes, he was a lone wolf. It was a singular person acting on his own. Or the people that were doing the investigation.
The Biden administration.
The
Christopher
Biden
Wray and his
administration.
FBI.
Christopher Wray and his FBI. And listen, the same rule can apply to Epstein, by the way.
It did.
And yes. So you have to accept the fact that the evidence as it was being collected was being tarnished and destroyed, or you have to accept the fact that someone brand new coming in and looking at it immediately was able to be.
Or maybe there's another theory. The other theory is exactly, and see, here's the problem I had with Joe Kent's interview with Tucker Carlson. It's that just like Candace Owens does, he like got to the truth a lot of the time and then veered radically away from the truth.
That's what SK. Yeah, SK nailed that. Yeah, she totally fucking nailed that.
And he did it too because he was point blank asked. Tucker Carlson asked him about terrorist attacks originating from Iran after we went in and removed the mullahs. And Joe Kent's response was effectively saying that, yeah, it's pretty unlikely that there are active terror cells here in the United States because of how good we've gotten at breaking up their communications. And if they were in fact communicating and they were organizing and they were operating as a cell, we would know. He said, but the one thing that we can't really control are lone wolf actors, which, by the way, is something that Thomas Crooks appears, according to all the evidence that has been released from the FBI, that is able to be released from the FBI, that Dan Bongino saw, shows that he was a lone wolf. And the argument that is made is that, well, we haven't been able to get into his devices. Well, later in the clip that we were showing, Dan Bongino goes through a list of all the devices that they got into. That is a lie. We got into his devices. Not only that, but we also went through all of his social media contacts. We went through all of his social media profiles. They went through all of the conversations that he was having. They went through all of it. And the president saw it. And President Trump's response was, I'm satisfied. SK, you look like you're getting ready to say something.
Yeah, this is where like Data Republican was talking about last night. If you look for certain things, you can find certain things. And this is where like the absence of proof becomes proof of suppression, proof of a conspiracy. And this is where you have to know where to draw the line. Absence of proof doesn't become proof of a conspiracy. It doesn't become proof of suppression of evidence. And that's where you have to draw the line. That's the difference between discernment and not having discernment.
That's right.
One thing I can prove, by the way, is the fact that Guarding the Grid and MAGA Jake are not the same person. Patriot Dad and I have been on
calls with them,
Zoom calls with them. They are not the same person, Family Crest. They are two separate people.
Yep, they
That's
are.
a fact.
They are
two separate people.
I can
In
attest to that.
In fact, they actually had an argument.
They were having an argument in the X chat here a little while ago.
They argue
folks,
with each other.
There's
They
nothing
don't
left.
agree on content sometimes, by the way.
There's nothing left in the Dropbox.
Well,
we're done.
I know, because I didn't screen record the good one of the Japanese lady looking at the auto painting hanging on the wall. It was great. If you haven't seen it, you should
be
find
doing
it.
2.5 hour episodes. No.
And the only reason why we did is because of this. That's it. This is the only reason why we did. Because look, there it is right there. Because Nam decided to put his feet up today and went out and got sloshed. SK came in here pretty sauced herself. And then they just totally just like torpedoed the entire show throughout the entire show. They were committed.
Fair,
they were committed to the shit show tonight. Committed
to
to it.
Fair, it was time for me to come back here, and I was like, "Shit, I gotta get a drink," and then I just like downed a couple shots so I could get ahead. No, 2. What are you talking about? 4? I would be in bed.
The numbers seem to indicate, Patriot Dad, that you are boring, that you are boring, and we are not boring.
You have to stop it. That's not nice.
All right, I'm done. Isn't there like a special close that you guys found while I was gone? Like a
we got to look at the comments. We usually ask questions. We were asking questions.
No, we're 2.5 hours in. We
don't have time for
party's
questions
over.
tonight.
Party's over. Party's over.
We'll do questions
Every
Monday.
party has a pooper. That's why we invited you.
To be fair, me and Good to Go weren't fighting tonight, but we were this week. Got it.
What?
They weren't prepared. They pre-gamed. That's exactly right. The Amazing Torah. That's exactly what they did. They pre-gamed. They were going to like a Rumble Royal instead of a podcast tonight. And instead of preparing, they pre-gamed. As a matter of fact, when we were loading the content, hold on.
Is not true.
When we were loading the content, Nam said, I haven't seen any of this stuff. So this is all going to be live reaction.
It was new to all of us.
Except me.
We all got to see it at the same time.
No, it wasn't that I didn't prepare. It was I opted not to prepare.
That's right.
I chose not to prepare because I wanted first reaction on all of this.
Yeah, that's what I do every time.
Are we out?
There.
You guys want you
play,
want me to
play
take us
the
out?
new Exit Buffer song because I haven't seen it, but I heard that it's really good.
There is no new Exit Buffer song. There's this song. That's it.
Yeah, we got a new member. Lovable Dash. Thank you so much for the
You want the
membership.
new Exit Buffer song?
Isn't there? Didn't I see Garden to Grid giving you the business because you didn't play the new Exit song a couple days ago?
Maybe. I don't know.
If these guys are going to put the effort in, we got to show their stuff. Maybe we should
I
do a full episode of all their stuff.
Shut up. Everybody shut up.